and the Back to School Agency, and we're only going to have time for a handful of stories here, but we're going to expand a little bit more on this, but I'm going to touch on the fact, and I'm sure you've heard already, the amazing James Earle Jones passed away. 93 years old, one of the world's greatest actors, one of the few entertainers who has achieved EGOT status. He won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony.
Just a nuclear force.
So many great things, man. Fields of Dreams, obviously Star Wars, Mustafa and the Lion King, and he was on tons of TV shows throughout the years as well. Roots, if you remember, that was
phenomenal.
Colossal.
Roots. Hunt for Red October. He had a very funny turn, an episode on Big Bang Theory where he and Sheldon are going around ringing doorbells of Carrie Fisher and running away. And it was just terrific. He had a great sense of humor. For a guy who had that command, he was not pompous about himself.
Yes.
And that's what made him so endearing.
And he was huge on Broadway as well. Othello, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Fences, so many different things throughout the years. They named a theater after him on Broadway.
He was in a great movie, The Great White Hope. I don't know if you ever saw that early on in his career, a boxing movie. Amazing.
Do you remember Bingo Long and the Traveling All-Stars?
I love that. I love that movie.
It was such a great movie.
Did we even say Coming to America?
No, we didn't. I'll play one clip of Vader. We will come back.
One of the lesser-known characters.
We will play several other clips, but this, of course.
Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force.
His diction is
unbelievable.
So...
I feel bad for David Prowse, who you can hear the audio of the original recording, which is, I think we should blow up that Death Star, I do.
What building did they have lit up in New York? Did you guys see that by any chance?
It was Empire State Building.
It was the Empire State Building.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was awesome, Preston. They had it like lit up in red with a silhouette of Vader on it. It was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go a little bit deeper into his career and audio in just a little while.
Way to go, Pink Floyd.
There's another piece of audio that I would like to play, and normally I would reserve this for music news, but this is too damn good to pass up. Last night, Pearl Jam played their second of two shows, and at the show, I have not heard this yet, but we got another shout out from Edward Vedder, and I think he mentions some names in this as well. That's what I've heard, but this is from last night's show, so let's see how this went. Here we go.
I put those things to use. This one dedicated tonight to Pierre, Nick, and Matt.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
What song is this?
It's In My Tree, which is a song off of No Code. There's a whole long story, and I'll get into it at some point.
We want to hear the whole thing. Nick was chuckling earlier and saving it for the air. We need some time, right?
I'm just blown away. I'm on fumes. I'm on zero sleep, and I couldn't be happier. It was just cool. I melted. I started crying. I mean, it just was a remarkable moment.
All right, so we'll do James Earl Jones and Pearl Jam.
We need to.
We'll do a double recap. We'll do a recap of his life and a recap of Nick's life.
We lost a legend today, but more importantly, Nick is here.
I'll say this. Most of the story is happy, but there's a twist that I have to tell you guys that it leaves a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth.
Oh, man, someone throw it in.
I swear to God, I'm like 2 seconds away from punching Pierre Robert right in the face.
Was he referencing Nick Murphy and not Nick Hugh? Is that what it is?
I think it was me.
All right.
I'm going to play this one more time. It's short, but I'll play this again, and then we'll talk about it in the following break.
I put those things to use. This one dedicated tonight to Pierre, Nick, and Matt.
By the way, Steve, your impression is spot on of him. It is spot on.
It really benefits from the effect.
I actually, for a second, was like waiting for more. Like, is it Steve? And there's a joke at the end of it. And I was like, wait, no, that was
By the
him.
way, intern Ben is here. As you can imagine, cracks me up every time.
As you can imagine.
He came in, he was out of breath.
He's listening.
As you can imagine. Shout out to Ben.
Hit it in case.
As you can imagine.
Yeah.
It kills me. I mean, it's like 11 steps and it's completely winded.
As you can imagine.
Yeah, I need to hear what this is in reference to because he says I put those to. Hang on.
I put those things to use. This one dedicated tonight to Pierre, Nick, and Matt.
Put those things to use.
One of the things that he put to use was a typewriter that Pierre finally got to him last night.
Oh, okay.
And that's part of the story.
Okay.
Oh.
Put it right to use in the garbage can. With the weights at the bottom so it doesn't tip over.
All right, there's a couple things I do want to touch on real quick. We'll come back and expand on those in a little bit. But in a Vanity Fair interview released yesterday, Selena Gomez reveals she cannot carry her own children due to medical issues that would endanger her and her baby. She was diagnosed with lupus in 2013, and having received a kidney transplant in 2017, she shared that this reality was difficult to accept, but now embraces the idea of surrogacy or adoption as possible paths to motherhood.
A quick question. I'm sorry, go ahead, Kathy.
No, I was going to say, I wonder, is it due to the lupus or is it due to the transplant?
Yeah.
I would imagine maybe both, but more so the kidney transplant.
As you can imagine.
As you can imagine, it's difficult. She said, at the end of the day, I don't care. It'll be mine. It'll be my baby. She also spoke about a relationship with record producer Benny Blanco, whom she's been dating since July 2023. She called him her best friend and a light in her life and said, I've never been loved this way. I love telling him everything.
I like her a lot. I do.
Here's some more good news from a lovely young lady.
Lovely young girl.
And positive news came from the Royal Palace's Kate Middleton. The Princess of Wales announced that she has completed her chemotherapy treatments.
I think the world of her. I don't know her. I don't, just what I've seen, obviously, from a public perspective, but she carries herself with a lot of grace. And what she's been through is, I have a feeling what we've heard is just a small percentage of what she's been going through. They wouldn't tip their full hand on that, but I'm glad to hear this.
The royal family shared the news in a newly released video with Kate opening up about her battle with cancer and sharing that she'll resume her royal duties by undertaking light engagements in the coming months. It was back in March of this year that we found out she had an unknown form of cancer, and it was during abdominal surgery that she had done. So she has since gone through her chemotherapy regimen, and that's a really good thing.
That's awesome, yeah.
Yep. Let me see. I want to make sure that I get to the ones. Oh, yeah. Kathy, you had in the news, Meredith Goudreau, the wife of the late NHL star Johnny Goudreau, shared it as a memorial service. She is 9 weeks pregnant with their third child. We actually have an audio clip of that, of her making that announcement. So that's just heartbreaking.
In less than 3 years of marriage, we've created a family of 5. It doesn't even sound possible, but I look at it as the ultimate blessing. How lucky am I to be the mother of John's 3 babies? Our last one being a blessing and so special, despite these difficult circumstances.
Oh, man.
I mean, that story has just caught the world. I mean, it's so profoundly sad. It's just, again, what can you say?
Well, now, the brother, his
wife was
is pregnant too.
Yeah.
With their first child.
I mean, you
due in
think
December. Oh, my
it's
goodness.
so sad, beyond sad. But, I wonder if that helps them a little.
I gotta believe.
Yeah.
And now listen,
you've got you've got that will pull your attention away from the grief because you've got to tend to this.
And it's another part of them, of the brothers.
Yeah.
Both wives have another little part of their husbands.
Grieving does such strange things to people, and we all process it differently. And that sometimes it may be a reminder that hurts you. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Do you know what I would do, honestly? And I was thinking about this. To someone who occasionally drinks and drives, and has had issues, take the clippings of this story and, put it in your wallet and remember the huge ramifications that can occur.
Yep. All right, something lighter but heartbreaking as well. Back in February of 2023, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck celebrated their first Valentine's Day as a married couple, and they got coordinated commitment tattoos.
Uh-oh. And it's a big, huge monkey between their nipples.
J-Lo got an infinity sign located on her left rib cage with Jennifer written on one end and Ben on the other. The symbol had an arrow striking through the middle, and now the tattoo has seemingly vanished.
Of course it did.
Last week at the premiere of her film Unstoppable, J-Lo wore a revealing dress, revealing the fact that the famous tattoo was now nowhere to be seen. It's unclear if she had it removed or simply covered it with makeup, but what is clear is that she definitely feels a certain kind of way about the ink. I have a feeling that she just covered it over because having a tattoo removal can take
a little bit longer.
It can take about a year. So possibly that she just covered over it.
Did you see that outfit, by the way, that she was wearing?
No.
It's unbelievable. I mean, completely open on both sides. Oof. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
So we're not sure why the universe has it in for Jeremy Renner, but the evidence is piling up that it does. Less than 2 years removed from the nearly getting killed in the snowplow accident, the actor has now had to run for his life as the Davis fire stormed toward his Lake Tahoe home.
Oh, Jesus.
Renner shared multiple photos and Videos of the fast-spreading wildfire to his Instagram stories as he evacuated his home near Reno. And this was on Sunday. While the pics and videos are terrifying, Renner made sure they let fans know that he is safe and he's successfully evacuated as well. But that guy has had some crazy run-ins over the past couple of years. And then let me see. We'll have time for. I wanted to mention this one more thing, and then we got to move along because time-wise. But we'll cover some of these stories at another point. But so they announced the roster of the upcoming presenters for the Emmy Awards, and Marissa sent this to me. There is a local EGOT winner.
What?
So Friends Central grad and the Philadelphia Boys Choir alum Benj Pasek.
Oh, yeah.
And his songwriting partner Justin Paul just achieved EGOT status. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. They won an Oscar in 2017 for a song they wrote for the movie in La La Land. Then it was the Tony for their Dear Evan Hansen score. After that, Pasek and Paul scored a Grammy for the original cast recording album from that show. And now they picked up an Emmy for a song they co-wrote for Only Murders in the Building.
I wonder what
Is it the
song?
baby song that? Oh wait,
Marissa is giving a thumbs up.
The Meryl Streep baby one. That was a gorgeous song.
Yeah.
Don't you remember when we were trying to get everybody back?
That was beautiful.
On board. Yeah, I didn't realize that they wrote that. Listen, I know these guys for a long time now. I mean, they did like the Dear Evan Hansen and
You know of them. You don't know.
I'm not friends with them or anything like that. Yeah, but and then also that one movie with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell where they're Ghost of Christmas Past or whatever. They wrote the music for that movie as well.
So that's awesome. Congratulations. They are the 20th and 21st members of the exclusive awards club. They're only the 20 and 21st people to
but
get.
they're damn good. That Evan Hansen
EGOT
stuff is amazing.
Next up, Pasek and Paul are working on music for Disney's live-action version of Snow White that is scheduled for release next year. All right, we are going to hit some clips now. The series Time Bandits is based on the 1980s movie about a ragtag group of thieves traveling through time and space with their newest recruit, an 11-year-old history nerd. And here, creator Jermaine Clement shares his selfish reason for making this series. Here we go.
I loved the film. There's a whole run in the 80s of these great sort of comedy adventure films, and we wanted to try and do that kind of thing. Relive our childhood, really.
Hold it.
Doesn't he talk funny?
Time Bandits is streaming on Apple Plus. Here's our next clip. The Money Game chronicles LSU athletes through the NCAA's groundbreaking decision to grant name, image, and likeness rights to students, allowing them to finally earn endorsement money. And here, Aaliyah Armstrong speaks candidly about the series.
It's going to be exciting for the fans, and I also think it's going to be inspiring because we showed our lowest of our lows. So that entails just being at my lowest financially, my brokest. You know, people get to see like Aaliyah Armstrong when she didn't have money, and I love that.
I don't think I want to see it.
She just referred to herself in the third person.
I think she did. Yeah.
Okay. And the Money Game 6-part docuseries premieres today on Prime Video, by the way. All right, that's your entertainment report. All right, we have got the back to school A to Z in full force this morning. We just played an 11-minute song if you joined us. We're in the P's. We'll come back with more of that. We also have several guests on the program today. Melissa Fitzgerald from The West Wing is going to be joining us. David Uosikkinen and the Hooters. Adam Weiner of Low Cut Connie will both be in our studio in the 9 o'clock hour as well. And when we return, we got to do a more thorough tribute to James Earl Jones, who passed away, unfortunately, age of 93 yesterday. And we got to find out the backstory about Eddie Vedder's shout out to Pierre and Nick last night at the Pearl Jam show. There's a story behind it.
It's a complex story.
We got to find out about that. So we'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
All 93.3 WMMI.
It's a scientific fact. People like
how you'd get it if you were sitting at the counter of the restaurant,
right?
And they slide it right in front of you.
I love it.
But no, some things, you know, the microwave is good for certain things. The air fryer, on the other hand, is also very good at warming stuff back up.
Yeah, no, we use the air fryer all the time. A lot of this, and it's just fun. Again, Preston does the most cooking of anybody on the show, but just on a basic level, this is the spice of life, and to have a point of entry that you're obviously providing to your viewers, where you don't have to be the stereotype of the snobbish sort of foodie, and have this point of access, I think means a lot. That's why you're doing so as well as you are.
Yeah, you know what? That term foodie, are you a foodie? I'm a foodie. She's a foodie. I don't think he's a foodie. We don't want them to come over. That's just nonsense talk. What's a foodie? A person that likes to eat food.
Yeah, right.
Everybody likes to eat food, except my mother-in-law, who sees food as nourishment only. She doesn't really care how good it is. She's not a very good cook, but I do adore her. That being said, look, I could talk food all the time, all the time. When I do a live event, I'm in front of an audience. Whatever the reason I'm there for, at some point always degrades into, let's talk about what you guys want to talk about.
Yeah.
What are you having trouble making? And if I can help with that, don't ask me a baking question ever. Even though right now I have bagels proofing, we're going to finish off the bagels when we're done with this. We have a show coming up, how to make your own lox, how to make your own bagels, and how to make a smoked cream cheese, which we did on an episode for that buffalo chicken dip. You have a smoker? Anybody there?
No,
but
I don't have a smoker.
my neighbor used to, and man, the stuff that would come out of that is pretty awesome.
So I'm telling you, who's ever listening right now, you take a block of Philly cream cheese. Of course, I wouldn't mention any other one. You put it in a little pan, cast iron pan, whatever. You make some little X's across the top. You sprinkle it with anything you want. In this case, we did. We'll watch it on YouTube for the buffalo chicken dip. We sprinkled it with barbecue seasoning. Set your smoker at 225. Leave it for 2 hours. It will not melt into a puddle. It definitely gets softer, but it holds its shape. At the end of 2 hours, you take it out, and it is life-changing. It is transformative. It is cream cheese like you've never had before. And it was so good that when we made it, I said, damn, imagine you could put like everything bagel seasoning on it. And then it went, hey, if you do that with everything bagel seasoning, then we should make our own bagels, and then we should make our own lox. So that'll be coming up in a couple of weeks.
That's cool.
But yeah, so the point is, I forgot the question. No. Oh, the point is, I like to talk food all the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Sam, before we wrap, if people find themselves in the San Diego area, what are your restaurants that we should visit?
So they're all in Little Italy. They're all about 25 yards away from each other. Two are in the Little Italy Food Hall. One is called Samburgers, which you can guess probably what that is. And we love doing burgers on our channel. We have a great one coming up this week. The other one's called Not Tacos, and Not Tacos because they're not Mexican tacos. Not that I don't love Mexican tacos. I love Mexican food. I'm in Mexico. Yeah. Everything I've had here has been Mexican. But San Diego has so many great Mexican restaurants. I didn't need to be a guy to try and Jewish Canadian boy did not need to bring more Mexican tacos. Right. So there's things like Korean short rib, mashed potato, pulled pork with macaroni and cheese, stuff like that. They're really good.
That. Yeah.
Most of them are in this book. Shameless plug.
All right.
And the other one is called Graze, Graze, and Graze like a cow would eat a little bit of this. So it's charcuterie boards and flatbreads and appetizers and salads and bar and that kind of stuff.
Well, you need
Little Italy Food Hall.
You need to chain those up because we'd like to. They sound pretty awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. It's all good. So just know this: the book will be coming. Some copies to you guys when it comes out. It comes out in May.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And for restaurant info and food info and all this, you can go to thecookingguy.com or you go to the YouTube channel for all the stuff and go find my Philly versions, cheesesteak versions, and all the stuff we've been talking about. It's all there. Everything's there.
Well, good on you, man. You're a hell of a
guys
success.
are great.
Hell of a success story,
Yeah, thanks,
Sam.
man.
That's
Call
really
on
cool.
me anytime to answer food questions or
all right.
Consider it done.
Judge a debate.
Yes.
I'm
And
here.
resume vacation. All right, man.
I'll go back.
Thank
Please
you.
bring the
Appreciate
margaritas now.
All right, Sam, the cooking guy. Thanks, Sam. Take care, man. We'll see you later. Oh, my God. That's awesome, dude.
Very conversive, very cool.
No idea. Zero culinary experience at all. And just followed his passion. I guess he just liked doing it. And one thing led to another. And look at him. Huge success. That's really cool.
Yeah. God bless. That you have to stick. He stuck with it, you know, and again, you said finding the hook, finding the high concept. I'm not a chef. This is how I'm going to prepare it.
I don't know about you guys, but when he was talking about the smoker, my mouth started to water. The way that he was describing it, and then the buffalo chicken dip and whatever the hell else, I was like, yeah, I'm in. I want to try.
A lot of things made my mouth water in that conversation. All right, so yeah, you can go to thecookingguy.com to get all information. Just do a search on Sam the Cooking Guy on YouTube and subscribe and check it out and get some good ideas. Well, if you guys didn't know, Kathy had the Rona. She got past it, but there are some lingering effects, and a lot of people have dealt with this lack of taste thing.
Would it be safe to say that it licked her ass?
I think it licked her ass. Now, if you don't know about that, she had texted someone that it kicked her ass and accidentally typed in licked her ass. And this wasn't a close personal friend either. It was more of a casual relationship. And
I love it.
Took it to another level. But so your sense of taste, at what point? Because listen, when you get a cold, when you get the flu, it's standard that happens, but it doesn't linger afterwards. So did this happen at the onset of symptoms, or did this happen later on?
No, so I was like a few days into having COVID, and I started. I had congestion too. So sometimes, like you said, like if you have congestion, you have a cold or whatever, like taste won't be there. So that's what I kept telling myself. I was like, no, I think it's that, because there was like a little bit still there. So I'm like, maybe it's just the congestion, like normal, and I'm not really losing my taste. No, and then flash forward, now we're a few weeks in, and my taste is, I would say my taste is like 0 to 10%. I don't know. Maybe today I'll see.
Yeah.
I thought maybe at one point it was coming back. I had yellow mustard. I told you guys this, but I don't know if it was like whatever. I don't know. Whatever.
You don't know if it was like the spices in the mustard,
right,
that,
exactly.
as opposed to its actual flavor.
Yeah.
It's like it's nothing you would be able to compare it to in life. I mean, it's such a unique thing to have happen.
Yeah.
And so for the most part, people have what they call the long Rona. Still, even they eventually get their taste back, but it can be a while.
God,
I've seen stories of people that have gone like a year without having taste. My grandmother, this was a long time ago, went years a loss of taste.
Is that right? What
and
caused
then
it?
It just came back.
Right.
I don't know. We never found out.
And now she's a food critic.
No, she's dead.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, she couldn't taste anything. And then it just came back around one day.
What's weird here, and not to like sound too alarming here, but there is something cerebral going on there, which is like a little bit scary, don't you think?
So I heard a doctor talk about it and why, and it all stems from the nose and like the blood vessels that are in the nose.
The nose.
And again, I just watched like a quick video, so hopefully that's accurate. But that's what he was saying, and like my sense of smell, I think I have a little bit of it. Like I would say maybe like 25%. Like if I stick my nose in something, I might be able to identify.
Well, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I mean, so your olfactory senses inform your taste to some degree.
Ooh.
I don't know what the percentage is.
Hey, if you were going to lick someone's ass, now is the time to do it.
No,
This is the time to do it.
We can give away mixed martial arts
do
tickets.
Yeah. All right, so what we've decided to do, and actually it was Kathy's idea, we're going to do a taste test this morning of some various things and see if she can identify. Now, they have various consistencies to them, so that might be a clue into what you might be tasting. But nonetheless, we want to see if you can identify. And some of these things are very strong flavors. We're not throwing anything.
All right.
You're not going to taste anything effed up. We're
Yeah,
not
like
doing
toilet water.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
You wouldn't
It's
know
all
what that tastes
legit.
like anyway.
It's all edible, and
Or
you'll
like,
be fine.
Is there a
foot
chance?
shavings?
Yeah,
No,
foot
none of
shavings.
that.
No,
No,
nothing
Is there a
gross.
chance that this might, because of the wide variety to her palate, is it possible this might kickstart your taste back up?
Ooh.
Possibly?
Listen, I also read a lot about that. People trying to do that using like pepper, and,
Right,
and there was
yeah.
another thing where
Yes.
if you like burn an
A burnt orange.
peel. Yeah,
Carter told me about it yesterday. He's like, "Ooh, there's this thing," and I saw it, and I was like, "Really?" And he goes, He goes, "Hang on." He looks at me, and goes, "Oh, it's not real. Never mind."
It's not real.
Yeah, so-
like people were trying it, but there's no scientific evidence that it works.
All right.
hang on. Let me go to Steve real quick. Steve lost his taste. Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Hey, how you guys doing?
All right, buddy. So, did you have Corona?
Yes, last year.
Okay, and how long has it been since you've been able to taste anything?
Over 400 days.
400 days.
Now, Steve, let me ask you a question, because you're not necessarily eating for taste anymore. Have you lost?
I am anger eating.
Yep.
Yeah,
Anger eating.
All right,
I
so
get it.
have you lost any weight as a result, or nothing's changed?
You know what? Everybody says, "Oh, you must have lost so much weight." I lost some in the beginning. In the beginning, I lost a lot, But as time goes on, I'm just anger eating. I'll buy Reese's Cups and I'll be like, damn it, I'm going to taste these Reese's Cups. And I don't.
Steve, do you feel, and you're like constantly searching for it, right? Like you constantly, you're like, okay, let me try this. Maybe there'll be a little bit there.
Yeah, and the only thing is I have had twinges of, like, if somebody has like a lemon cookie or a lemon cupcake, I might get like the taste of lemon with the first.
Yesterday, unfortunately, everyone else did too, that James Earle Jones passed away. 93 years old, lived a life, man.
Super full life.
What an amazing life this guy led. Not just in the acting world, but he was in served in the military, and he was on screen and stage and all these great things throughout the course of his life.
Excelled at all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, we remember the legendary story. If we just want to take one snippet, This Is CNN earned him how much for that incredible, identifiable voice?
You know what's interesting about doing voice work for Darth Vader and for A New Hope? Do you know what he was paid for that?
Not a whole hell of a lot, correct?
$7,000.
Yeah.
I mean, chump change.
Yeah.
Absolute chump change.
His name was not listed in the credits until the third movie, was it not?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was born in 1931 in Mississippi and famously battled a severe stutter as a child. The guy that went on to have this amazing voice and delivery had a really bad stuttering problem. He did an interview in 2014, said people would come to the house and there'd be introductions made and I could not introduce myself. That's how bad it was. He said he learned to stay silent for long stretches of time. He said, I found that it was so good sometimes because silence isn't bad. It's good to listen. And that's how I learned how to listen. And it was the stutter that led him into acting after high school.
It happens a lot. Sometimes people with a stutter will pursue music and singing or acting, as a way to sort of counter it.
Yeah, he won 3 Tony Awards, including a Lifetime Honor in 2017, 2 Emmys, and a Grammy. And he was recognized for Lifetime Achievement by the Academy Awards in 2011. So it was in high school, a teacher used poetry to help him speak more clearly. Once he got out of college, and then he went into the Army and he served in the Korean War. And then he decided to go for Broadway and start in theater and the arts.
Yeah.
And in the 1950s and 60s, he was a Broadway staple from On Golden Pond to The Best Man, and his work earned 4 Tony nominations, not Tommy nominations.
Tommy want wingy.
Yeah. And
Tommy want wingy.
He won for The Great White Hope in 1969 and Fences in 1987. He picked up both his Primetime Emmy wins in 1991 for Best Supporting Actor in the miniseries Heat Wave and Best Actor for the series Gabriel's Fire. He also won a Daytime Emmy for the children's special Summer's End, and that was in 2000. And he earned his first Oscar nod adapting The Great White Hope. You had mentioned that earlier,
Yeah,
Steve.
great movie.
For the silver screen in 1970, playing boxer Jack Jefferson. He was just the second black actor after Sidney Poitier, who was nominated in 1958 and 1963 to be recognized by the Academy with a nomination. And for the better part of the 70s, he continued to juggle his work on stage, TV, and film. And then in 1977, he was cast as the voice of a new villain named Darth Vader. And while bodybuilder David Prowse would be the figure behind the black mask of the Sith Lord, Jones was the voice that uttered so many iconic lines in the film and that series, including, I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I mean, think of, obviously, when the first voice you hear is the one you're going to associate with the role, but honestly, who else could have done the voice of Vader?
Nobody.
But James Earle Jones.
Nobody. He has just the slightest, English accent in there and that deep resonance.
Processed that way.
Oh, man.
Sensational.
Let's play some of those clips, some of those Vader clips, Casey,
Okay,
if you would please cue those up. Here we go. Here's a montage of them.
You do not yet realize your importance.
We have only begun to discover your power. The rebels are alerted to our presence. Admiral Oswald came out of light speed too close to the system.
He felt surprised, was wiser.
He is as clumsy as he is stupid. Don't act so surprised, Your Highness. You weren't on any mercy mission this time. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
I remember.
Oh my God!
I remember seeing that in the theater, and it's like, what?
I know.
It can't be.
In fact, in a documentary in 2004 called Star Wars Empire of Dreams, he spoke about when he first found out that Vader would reveal that he was Skywalker's father. And he said, I said to myself, he's lying. He said, I wonder how they're going to play that lie out. He thought for sure it was a lie of some type.
With the voice and everything we're talking about, you said that slight British affectation. He's a great actor.
Yes.
I mean, to say those without lapsing over into the cartoony, because these are broad lines that he's saying, he just makes it work.
Yeah.
Craig Lagrange just texted me. He said that Orson Welles initially turned down the role.
Okay.
And that's how it ended up. I trust
another resonant voice.
Big time. I can see that. Yeah.
They were just afraid of the kind of damage he'd wreak on the craft services tape.
But obviously that wasn't a lie, and he was the father, and it went on. And then after Star Wars, he made memorable appearances in movies like Coming to America. And then he was in Field of Dreams. And once again, and then he had a huge one with The Lion King as Mufasa.
And again, we do have a Coming to America if you want, Preston.
Yeah, I'm going to play some of these other clips. We have a few of them. So here's one from Coming to America.
Your Majesty, what are you doing here?
I received your telegram. What is Akeem?
He went out. So how was your flight? Comfortable, I trust?
Your only job was to look after Akeem. How could you let him come to such a pass?
Akeem will not listen to me. He's gone quite mad, Your Majesty.
Sammy, you have disgraced yourself, and you must be punished. You will confine yourself to our royal suite at the Waldorf Astoria. And see that he puts on some decent attire. And I want you to bathe him thoroughly.
Oh, thank you, Your Majesty.
His role as Admiral Greer with Hunt for Red October and Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. I mean, it's the same character throughout all three. He's fantastic in that. And his character dies in the third one. And I remember being heartbroken thinking that we were losing James Earl Jones because of his portrayal of Admiral Greer dying. And him in Field of Dreams. I mean, Kevin Costner, that's a Kevin Costner movie, but it's made so much better because of James Earl Jones' contributions.
He's got a line in that where Jack says too much at this meeting with people, and he turns to him and goes, I told you to speak your mind, but Jesus.
He puts his hand on Baldwin's arm, and it's like he tries to get him to calm down. Yeah.
It's brilliant. We have a clip from Field of Dreams.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
This game is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good. And it could be again. Oh, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
I just did.
Dude. Trying to think of anybody else. I think he's just the top as far as just that voice, that delivery. There are loads of people who have resonant, wonderful deliveries, but man, did he have a presence all his own.
It's once in a multi-generation quality. Yeah. There are people like is it Jeffrey Holder? I'm the wrong name. The guy who is living.
Seven Up.
Yeah. So great tone, but his elocution was horrific.
Right.
Yeah. So you had James Earl Jones did not suffer from that.
So let's take Ving Rhames, who of course does, we have the meat. Yeah. And obviously all those great lines from Pulp Fiction, all the movies he's been in. But the diction, as you said, Steve, the hitting of the consonants and the actual parts of the speech, using these, it's just he nailed it.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Yeah. We have a clip from or is this we just played the field speech, or is that
this is a different? I guess this is a different speech.
Here we go.
Ray, People will come, Ray.
Just from the same...
It's the earlier part of the same clip.
They'll come to Iowa for reasons they can't even fathom. They'll turn up your driveway, not knowing for sure why they're doing it. They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past. Of course, we won't mind if you look around, you'll say.
And then it goes into the part that we played.
So where do you stand? I know you're sort of mid-level on Field of Dreams.
So I never watched it from beginning to end. I only saw parts of it, and I thought the concept I didn't get. Listen, I know it's a father-son thing, what it boils down to. But on the surface, it never spoke to me. I never tried it out.
I can support you because initially it didn't hit me. It hit me later on a couple of subsequent viewings where I'm like, okay. And now it catches me the iconic way I'm sure it catches you, Nick.
It's a baseball movie that's really about a relationship between a father and a son, and that's why it hits home. And there's this moment where Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones go to a game at Fenway, and Kevin Costner hears the voice of Moonlight and sees the thing on the big screen for Moonlight Graham, and James Earl Jones pretends that he doesn't see it. And a scene, one or two scenes later, Kevin Costner starts to leave, and he's in VW microbus, and he spins around, and then there's this like hammer sound, and it's James Earl Jones standing right in front of the microbus, and he just goes, "Moonlight Graham," and it's this so impactful moment that only James Earl Jones could have delivered. It's so cool. It's kind of scary, believe it or not, but it's better because James Earl Jones is in it.
And intimidating. Do it if you wanted to be.
Here's one from The Sandlot.
Sandlot.
All right, here we go.
You're in trouble, aren't you, son?
Yeah, well, that was my stepdad's ball. I took it without asking. It was signed by Babe Ruth.
George signed this?
George Herman Ruth? Yeah.
I take it back. You're not in trouble. You're dead where you stand. Hold on. Here, I'll trade you.
That's really nice of you, but that ball really is signed by Babe Ruth.
So is this one, with the rest of the 1927 Yankees.
Getting choked up here.
Yeah.
Man. And then we have a montage of his career. Let's listen to a couple of these.
Being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble.
But you're not scared of anything.
I was today.
I am more than the exalted ruler of this land and the master of all I survey. I'm also a concerned dad.
I am your father.
People will come, Ray. They'll come to Iowa for reasons they can't even fathom. They'll turn up your driveway, not knowing for sure why they're doing it.
Man.
So
Very impressive.
He was typecast where he could only play a badass. Do you know what I mean? Like, it didn't
He
matter. Like, he
was.
was blind in The Sandlot, but he was still imposing. You know,
He had been cast as the lead in The Princess Diaries.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's totally against type.
Yeah, and they thought, wait a second. No, because when they did the first wardrobe thing, it was not working.
Like, oh, this is a mistake.
I had mentioned earlier this movie. Did you guys ever? Because Steve and I knew Bingo Long and Traveling All Stars. Did you ever see that?
Mm-mm.
Man, it was star-studded. It was James Earl Jones. It was Richard Pryor had a small
Early Richard
role.
Pryor. Sidney Poitier directed,
and Billy D. Williams played Bingo Long. It was about this the Negro League baseball teams. And they were just phenomenal. They were like the Harlem Globetrotters, only better. And it was
what's the name of the movie?
Bingo Long and the Traveling All Stars. It's a great movie.
And I think you'd agree. It does not get it's not brought up enough.
I agree.
It doesn't get the credit that it deserves.
I agree. That was an awesome film. We loved it. So. Sad news, man. Sad news. But he lived a full life and leaves behind this really cool legacy. Did you want me to play one of these other?
Yeah, your call. Yeah, it's kind of impressive. It caught me from left field, Preston, when I realized this.
Yeah, this was.
Which one? I'll let you get to it because I don't know what you're talking about.
He talks about.
The inspiration one.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. This was. This one is. We didn't expect this. This was from an interview that got very little airplay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I remember thinking to myself, okay, James, you have done it all. You have nothing left to give, no more to create. And then, like a gift from heaven, I heard Preston and Steve do a contest called 6 Jars of Farts for Mixed Martial Arts.
How about that? I had no idea.
I did not know.
Really?
I never.
No.
Did you realize that, Kathy? Because I know you did not like that
I'm
contest.
asking you, really? Really? The
It
guy
is amazing.
dead.
I know. That's the only one we're going to play.
He just died.
He just passed.
He had the kind of sense of humor, I'm going to tell myself, that would make him enjoy that.
He did seem to have a pretty cool sense of humor.
He did reveal the secret to his youth, Preston, if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah, I want to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just turned 91, and people ask me how I stay so young. Well, it's two things, actually. Every day I drink one green muchacho, and then I eat some salad balls.
It's amazing. I didn't know there was that bond with this show and Jackie Bam Bam.
Yeah, Jackie Bam Bam calls Brussels sprouts salad balls.
When we worked at Y100, I was very close to getting him on the show, and I consider it my greatest professional failure. He was doing On Golden Pond, a stage production of On Golden Pond down in Wilmington, and I had just started with you guys, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to slam dunk a guest. This is going to be fantastic. It's going to be James Earle Jones, and they canceled at the last minute. And I've never gotten over it. I wanted to have him on so badly because he is James Earle Jones. You know?
I think he might have been one of those ones we'd be thrilled, but it's rare that you get nervous, but James Earle Jones.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling he would have been an easy interview.
I've seen him interviewed countless times, and he was very self-deprecating. As we said at the beginning of this, he did not take the huge weight of his accomplishments too seriously. Like he had fun with things. You know, he'd come out on Letterman all the time and read passages and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So sad news, but what a great life. All right, now I want to hear.
Yes.
I want to hear what went on at the Pearl Jam show last night. We played this clip earlier. Eddie Vedder, again, giving a nice big plug and mention to Pierre and Nick and Matt Cord. And this was how this played out. But there's a story behind this.
Yes.
And so I want to hear that from Nick. So if you're at the Pearl Jam show, this is what you heard Eddie say.
I put those things to use. This one dedicated tonight to Pierre, Nick, and Matt.
Pierre, Nick, and Matt. And caused you to break out into tears, Nick.
I didn't see it coming. It was a really incredible shout out. Believe it or not, it's actually the third that we've gotten from stage from this band, from Eddie Vedder, which just blows me away. I mean, I grew up in love with this band. I'm still in love with this band. And for that guy to say my name, I lost it. And I was just a wreck, and I was so touched by all of it. And it was just a really cool moment. And then they went into a song called In My Tree, which is off of the No Code record. It was their fourth record. And so what he was saying before that, Preston, was it's a song about perspective and being up in he literally was up in a tree. He became friends with this guy that built fancy tree houses, right? And so he's sort of gaining perspective and being up there and writing a whole bunch of stuff. And believe it or not, he actually took up a typewriter with him while he was working on this song. So he was coming up with what he wanted to write the song to be about. And then as he came down, he brought the typewriter with him. The reason I'm sharing the portion of the typewriter story, and that's what he says when he says, these are the things that I put into this song. So in 2013, we got to interview Eddie before the show at the Wells Fargo Center. It was me and Matt and Pierre, and it was a remarkable moment. And then we got a shout out from the stage that night. And in 2016, Pierre wanted to thank Ed by buying him, and he bought him this present of a typewriter. It is this unbelievably gorgeous chrome typewriter, and Eddie writes a lot of the songs, and he's kind of like Tom Hanks in that he collects them, right?
Yeah, they're both collectors.
Right. So they mean something to him, and Pierre found this one, Steve, and I hadn't seen it until last night. I'll share a photo with you guys eventually. But it's really beautiful. And so Pierre has been lugging this damn thing around since 2016.
Oh, my gosh.
He wasn't able to, the timing didn't work out.
God damn it.
I know, right? So in 2016, there were two shows at the Wells Fargo Center, April 28th and April 29th. April 29th was when they did the whole 10 show, right? And that night, they did the whole record 10. That's how they started the show. Casey, we have audio from 2016, and so this is a shout out that we got that night. They were doing a song called Let the Records Play, and then they said this.
Well, hang on. There's 3 clips from that day.
Okay.
There's one that says Happy Birthday, the third mention, and then the sound of Philadelphia.
Let's just do them in order.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
I know it is.
Oh, no.
Wow, he sounds so
My bad. That sounds
Voice
like Eddie Vedder.
changes.
I know a lot of you don't know that I played Mustafa.
song.
Yeah, so that's MMR's birthday night, and he gave that shout out that night, which was also really cool, right? But Pierre was not able to give the typewriter that evening.
Son of a bitch.
So here we are, flash forward 8 years later, and we'd been in communication with their management, and this guy named Smitty, who runs the band now, he's their manager, and Pierre has a relationship with Stone Gossard of the band. So we've been going back and forth with Smitty, and we're finally able to go down before the show starts, go side stage, meet up with Smitty, and Smitty says we can go back with him.
This was yesterday.
So I grab the damn typewriter. It's in a football like nuclear case, and I take it downstairs, and I'm like, Pierre, follow me. And he didn't know what he just didn't know what to do because it's been 8 years, and he scrambled and whatever.
Yeah.
So we bolt downstairs, and we're waiting on the side of the stage, and I took Pierre's phone so that I could do the texting to make sure that all of this happens. And Smitty ends up coming up behind us, tapping us on the shoulder. Hey, we're going to go backstage and say hi, right? We don't know to whom, but we go back. Stone Gossard walks into this anteroom. Pierre and Stone and I have a really nice conversation. Smitty comes in for a little bit. Pierre presents Stone with the typewriter. He says, can you please give this to Eddie Vedder? And so Stone says, sure, he's going to love it. He takes a look at it. Pierre wrote a really heartfelt note in it. And Stone says he'll take it back. So then we get into the concert, and that's where the soundbite from last night happened. And if you want to play that again.
Okay, so this is so you guys you didn't encounter Eddie in person.
Correct.
Okay, but he did say this.
I put those things to use. This one dedicated tonight to Pierre, Nick, and Matt.
Okay. Here's the rub.
All right.
In 2016, Pierre went out to the bathroom and missed the shout out.
Okay.
Last night, right before that happened, Pierre went out to the bathroom and missed that shout out.
Are you freaking kidding me?
It's happened to him twice.
Was he beyond bummed?
He was bummed and sad and angry, and I felt so terrible for him. And I didn't know that he hadn't seen it until after the show ended.
And he's been on like a 5-day bender, too. Like, he's been going to shows left and right.
Tired.
Yesterday, he was wiped out.
He's been carrying around this typewriter for 8 years and finally got it to him. And Ed recognized it and said this really nice thing. And
oh, my God.
And
Words can't describe how impressed I am with this typewriter. It's the most amazing thing. I'm actually crying. Where is Pierre out there right now? I understand he's dropping a deuce.
Man, of all people who deserves it, like, it's him.
And there's video of it and an audio of it, but he wasn't in the room.
In the moment,
I know.
you wanted to be in the moment. You can watch the recording, but to be surprised in the moment would have been phenomenal.
So he comes back from the bathroom.
And a listener says to him, wow, what a shout out. What a shout out.
Oh, my God. Oh.
And Pierre says, what shout out?
Oh, God. Oh.
And then what was the reaction like after that?
I mean, like he was just bummed. He was kind of devastated. And for it to happen twice, I mean, look, these are like once in a lifetime moments, or in this case, 3 times in a lifetime. But like they're so rare, they just don't happen. And I was there, and I was blown away by it, and it was, it's just as incredible and
it brought you to tears.
It brought me to tears.
Listen, everybody, Nick requested that I do that whole thing over again because Pierre was in the crapper.
I mean, don't you wish that he could do it over again?
Yeah, listen, it happened and it's recorded. So the worst would have been if it had happened and there was no recording of it. But I mean, the notion that he's lugging around this typewriter
and to not be there to hear it, like.
But you were in the building. Like, it would be a different story if it's like, I couldn't make it to the concert, blah, 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 bring this for me, and then you get the shout out. But, like, he was in the building. He was within an earshot.
He was 50 yards away.
Yeah.
Up the stairs. So
he couldn't hear it over.
We were doing post-concert coverage, and
I'm sorry, that announcement one more time, please.
I just want to say, put it in the
I always have such a hard time hearing when singers speak on a microphone when they address the crowd. I have a hard time understanding.
Well, especially with Ed, because he often talks with marbles in his mouth. But like you could hear what he was saying last night, and it was actually delivered well. So we get to the end of the show, and they end with Yellow Ledbetter, and the crowd is just in this uproar, and everybody's in this really happy mood, and I'm still high from the shout out from the station. Go to the MMR area where we're broadcasting, and it's me and Pierre and Brent, and I am expecting a big hug, and everybody's super happy, and we got another shout out, and he looked devastated.
I can understand.
I just felt so.
I'm
bad
gonna
for
cut
him.
a bitch.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I got to be there for it, and that was really cool. And it wouldn't have happened if not for Pierre's hard work and dedication and buying that typewriter in the first place. So I'm grateful to to him.
What a wonderfully generous thing to do, too.
Yeah.
Was Matt with you guys, too?
Matt was on the other side of where we were standing, so he was down there as well. But yeah, Ryan Shuttleworth and
But
Matt
I
Gordon.
got to really point this out. Matt Court gave me these, I guess they're called Billy Bob teeth. And these are the most, it made me look like some goober from the South, like some moron, and I love them, and I'll use them all the time, and I just want to say thanks to, I mean, the typewriter's cool, but these stupid dumb teeth are the greatest gift I've ever received.
And then they go right into live.
Oh, my God. That is so funny, man. Wow. Well, I mean, it's funny, but it's not. You know what I mean? But still, the recognition is out there, and it was really cool for them to once again acknowledge WMMR and Pierre and you and Matt. So,
it is something.
Yeah.
It is, that does not happen. They don't do that.
No.
If not at all, seldom.
Yeah. So I shared that video up on Instagram and a bunch of pictures and stuff like that. So if you want to check them out, there were a lot of cool moments. I'm just really happy I was able to be there.
Nice. All right. Well, we will take a break right now. We'll come back in a second. We have more of the Back to School A to Z. And of course, the Bizarre File is on the way. We have a few guests on the program. I'll tell you about them when we return. Stay with us, please.
Preston and Steve.
Everything, and it's gone. Like, there's just nothing.
Steve, so this would not affect, though, your hunger, right? Hunger is...
Oh, no, of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Yeah.
That's the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You still have to eat. You just have no joy in any of it. I always say it's like Captain Barbossa in Pirates of the Caribbean. They just want to watch Keira Knightley eat because they have no joy.
Right, they can't experience. Well, but look. I mean, statistically, it you should get a return, but there's no guarantee it's going to be, anytime soon. But man, my heart goes out to you.
I've tried the other things. Like my wife has been getting me to, try this smell therapy where you smell coffee grinds, you smell oranges, you smell.
But they say that takes like years to actually kick in and work because it's supposed to be like based on your memory.
Yeah, it's really weird. And then I eat things because I like pizza. I know what pizza tastes like,
right?
So I eat it. But now I'm more concerned with texture. So I'll eat things that I always want nachos because nachos have crunch, they have sauce, they have But December 9th, 2020 was my my last day.
All right,
Steve,
man.
were you vaccinated?
Yeah, and boosted.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was all after. I mean,
I know there's connections to any of this stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel for you. Hang in there. Hopefully it'll come back around.
Preston, what about you, man?
If I
What
lost
about
my
you?
sense of taste,
Forget it.
I would be so upset.
It's so weird.
I find so much joy in eating. But I mean, I guess wouldn't you switch to a healthier eating habit if you don't
I'm
care?
pretty healthy. You're pretty healthy too.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going crazy.
Right.
But like,
so
why
I
eat
eat
ice
very
cream?
healthy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The little,
Because of the
the little
texture.
treats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's the texture. Like Steve said, you're constantly searching for something. So you could sit there and eat healthy, but it's like you so for me, melted cheese, that texture.
Does that give you pleasure?
Yes.
Okay.
So
now,
it's like-
because I can't taste anything.
Can't
Like
you-
zero sugar ice cream. And
Yeah,
stuff like
can't you
that,
find
know?
something that is
Will approximate it?
that
the
approximates
texture?
the texture and that is not
Putty?
loaded with.
Case you could.
Yeah.
All
Those
right.
are great putty.
Amy said she did the orange chicken at work.
All right.
Oh, well, if this is the case, then we
Let's
need
hear
to
it.
do this after the contest.
Yeah,
We'll try.
Get an orange.
I would love to go to these calls, but listen, I want to go through this and see if she can identify these things or not. So let's give this a try. We're going to be drinking things, by the way. We're not going to be eating.
Oh my God, she's lost her sense of balance.
She can't stand up. You okay?
Tripped over her own headphones.
I had to move, and I tripped over my headphones.
Okay.
Oh, the headphones.
So we have all grabbed some things from our cabinets and refrigerators and brought them in. And, I have the sheet here. Don't look over here.
Yeah, don't look.
She's not wearing her glasses.
No, she's getting blindfolded. She's blind and no taste.
And Marissa, are we putting the mask on her or no?
We're putting the because
it covers up her nose.
Exactly.
So we have a
But
full.
I do want to try to smell it afterwards if I
mask.
can't taste it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we'll figure this out.
This is a legitimate. Should we be wearing goggles and lab coats?
So here's what we'll do. Marissa has put all these in numbered cups, little shot glasses, and Kathy's going to sip it, and we'll just have her guess. And I've got the list here, and then I'll reveal what it is, and we'll see if she gets anywhere near it.
Okay.
The password is.
Yeah.
So do you want me to put these goggles on?
Do you want to eliminate the smell as well fully?
I mean, listen, I can sip it. If you hand me, I can sip it without smelling it. Because I want to see if my sense of smell is there or not afterwards.
All right, let's leave him off as long as it doesn't tip you off. So, Marissa, give her number one. We'll start with us. We can go in order. This is a good
Marissa, I don't know where you are.
order that we have. And she'll up.
Okay.
She'll up. She'll put it in your hand. Okay.
Man, I can smell it.
Do you know where your mouth is?
Shut up. All right, are you guys ready?
Yeah, take a sip.
Don't smell.
And see
I'm
what
not
you
going to
think.
smell.
You can shoot the whole thing.
Don't smell.
Probably don't drink the whole thing. You need to save some room. Okay, so you getting any sensation?
Something. It's like, yeah, it's not water.
Okay, not water.
It's I want to say like a I want to say sauce, but it's not that thick, so it's not a sauce. But that's what I'm getting. Like I would something like a pasta sauce or something.
Pasta sauce. So she's guessing pasta sauce.
Okay, and what is it, Preston?
It's a sauce.
Wait. Let me smell it. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, she just spilled it on a sweater. She just spilled it on the carpet.
Mackle farts.
You picked the wrong one to spill, too.
Yeah, you did. That's going to stain.
All right, get her sweater quickly. Kathy, take your top off quickly.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. You're legitimately handicapped.
I have to touch your boob.
Marissa, let me clean her.
By the way, go on YouTube now if you ever wanted to see Marissa feel up Kathy.
Oh, my God, dude. Now go a little slowly.
I almost have it out. There you go.
Oh, my God.
Preston, can you smell it on that side of the console?
No, not from where I'm sitting now.
Because I absolutely can, and the smell is very distinct.
Can I guess now?
Yeah, what is it?
Is it hot sauce?
No, it is not. Kathy, that is soy sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's way off. Not even clear.
And by the way, she took a sip. Like most people would go, "Whoa!"
Yeah, it's soy sauce is very strong. It's very, very salty.
All right, wait.
And you could only handle a little bit of that straight, but she shot quite a bit of it. Yes.
All right, I can't see, so I don't want to spill it again. Marissa, where's my water? A little bit. All right, here we go.
Oh my God!
I need a sip of water.
Helen Keller had it
Okay.
together.
Let's go with number 2. Don't spill this one either.
You can do it.
There's the microphone is right in front of you, so don't hit it. All right.
Don't tip it or tilt it.
Take a sip of this and see what you think. All right. So, by the way, Kathy's lost her sense of taste. Let's see. We're testing this out on her, and if you're just tuning in, that's what we're doing.
All right.
A little thicker, isn't it?
Thicker and sweet.
Okay.
Oh, so sweet you could determine.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I honestly don't know what it is. I know it's sweet, and by the texture, I'm going to say maybe like you put it. What the hell is it called? The chocolate that you put on ice cream, like a
Hershey's,
like a chocolate syrup.
Yeah, like a chocolate syrup.
She got it right. Kathy, lucky you. One of the things you can taste is chocolate syrup.
Honestly, if you're going to lose anything, and keep one thing, keep your ability to taste chocolate.
Did the texture help with that?
Yeah, I think. Well, that's why I think I was able to get
it. But you definitely picked up on sweet, and you know why you probably could, because you just had really, really salty before that.
Right before it.
Okay, let's go with number 3 and try this one out. A shot of this one. Yep.
Jinx.
All right. We'll sip of this one. Oh, wow.
I like this one.
Strong reaction from this.
Oh, what the hell is that?
Wow. So a big reaction.
Like it definitely triggered something.
Like prom night?
No, like some sort of taste buds in my mouth, but I have no idea.
Just describe. So
what
so
it is.
sweet, savory. What is the reaction?
No, like vinegar, maybe.
She's right. Yeah.
But here's the thing:
it doesn't taste like vinegar?
No, it's the guess is the way it made me feel.
You probably got a little tangy, sensation like you would on your tongue, like mouth watering a little bit from.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing: I'm smelling it, and I can't smell it either.
It was white wine vinegar.
But I could. Where's that? Is the hot sauce still? I mean, the FUD, the
chocolate sauce.
The FUD.
I think she was going to say fudge.
Like
FUD.
So that I can smell. I can smell the hot sauce, but I can't smell that vinegar.
It's not hot sauce. It's chocolate sauce.
Sorry, chocolate sauce.
That's what you would put on a chocolate FUD sundae.
Let's do the next one. We got to move through these. All right. So number 4, Marissa, if you would please. So she's gotten 2 out of 3 so far.
That's not.
But it was kind of guessing. And not going. Yeah, that is this.
You're right. It's a combination of cues that are helping her get to the answer.
All right, Kathy. This is another one.
All right.
This one's kind of thick, too.
Pondering.
I don't want any more of it, whatever it is.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Does it?
Yeah.
I think so.
You know.
Okay, I have no idea what it is.
Do you ever watch Dr. Pimple Popper? No.
Oh my God! Stop it, Steve! Don't do that to me. Can I smell it?
Yeah.
Try that.
Yeah.
one?
Okay. So you don't have a guess.
Oh, no,
But
I-
smelling it.
No smell.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. It's ranch dressing.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Hidden Valley ranch dressing. The goat of ranch dressing.
Yeah.
And by the way, you guys know my sense of smell and taste. Like
incredibly acute.
Normally, I would have
Yep.
been. I could do this in 2 seconds. All of it.
You were able to discern between water.
Yeah.
Types of
different
water.
water.
Yeah.
Seriously.
All right, next sample. This is number
right.
5. Go ahead whenever you're ready. And this one this is very identifiable.
Okay, there's a little sweetness to this again.
Okay.
Maybe like I want to say a juice.
A juice.
Like apple juice?
Like apple juice.
She got it right.
Well, you might.
And here's the thing. I'm smelling it too. I can smell the apple juice. I mean, is it safe to say that I can, the sweet stuff, I
You're
can
picking up
taste
on
a
sweet.
little bit.
You're rocking sweet than anything else. Yes. And you know what? A text came in that says sweet is the last taste to be lost, even with aging. Like that's the one that we hang on to the most.
Okay.
Don't know if there's any validity to that or not.
Well,
but
this has nothing to do with aging. This
That's why
is
old people
only-
love pudding.
Yeah. All right, here's the next one. This is mystery drink number 6.
Mystery drink number 6.
She's grimacing.
I know this one.
What is it?
I can taste it. Is it pickle juice?
You got it.
Kathy, so that is not sweet, unless it is sweet pickles.
No, I don't know.
And you don't like pickles, do you?
No, I love pickles.
All right,
well, good for you.
So,
See, we're finding things that you'll be able to eat and
Yeah, yeah.
taste. That's
Kathy,
great.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
chocolate
yeah.
and pickles.
We're curing her. You're pregnant. No, we're Preston. You're legitimately curing her.
We're getting somewhere.
We should
Listen,
set up an institute.
If you've had the taste issue, you should do this type of thing at home as well. You might find 1 or 2 things that stands out.
By the way, Kathy, though you can't see it, I'm wearing protective goggles.
Hey,
I had to take mine off.
you know what? And also the caller that we had earlier, though, Kathy had said that he could taste lemon for a moment.
Yes.
And then as he continued to eat, it would go
yeah.
away. So this is something you'll have to test with.
Why don't you forget the moose?
Oh, for a moment.
For a moment.
I got it.
Yeah, that
with
happened.
pickles.
That happened to my mom. She lost her taste for a really long time, and the same thing. She said it came back. She would eat, and she'd get it at the beginning of the meal, and then by like mid-meal, she couldn't taste anything.
Here's
so
the
eat quickly.
Here's the next one for you. Let's try this. This is number 7. We have 15 of these, by the way.
All right. Not a clue.
Looks like she doesn't really like the way it tastes, or are you just
I'm
perplexed
not like a
by
huge fan. I think it might be on the sweeter side, but it's not as sweet as that chocolate sauce.
it? Okay.
Like a pudding?
Pudding. No, it is not a pudding.
Let me smell it. Hold on.
Okay.
What kind of pudding are you drinking?
Puddings.
I smell something, but I can't. I would say pudding again.
No, it is maple syrup.
Which would be something very sweet.
Mrs. Butterworth's.
Not like pudding.
No.
Is it Miss or Mrs.? She married?
I think it's
Butterworth.
Mrs. Butterworth.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
She's spoken for.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Mr. Butterworth is an accountant.
Here's the next one. This is number 8. We're at the pretty much the halfway point now. Let's see if you can identify this. No reaction facially. I thought for sure I would see a facial reaction from this one.
Well, I mean, you should.
I'm going in again.
All right, this
drink
is
all of it.
It's a popular paint remover.
She shouldn't be able to say, I'm going to go again on this. No, I don't think so. Wow.
What do you think?
Wow.
I like it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Don't know.
Wait, look.
So we don't know. Preston has the answers.
All right, she doesn't know, so you can take a sniff and now guess after smelling it. What is it?
Is it lemon?
It is lemon juice. It's straight up lemon juice. Normally, if one is drinking straight squeezed lemon juice, you'd be puckering up and going,
Kathy, you didn't do any of that.
not even a win.
So that Preston.
So she got that wrong. She could smell it, but she couldn't taste it.
That raises the question that reflex.
Yes.
What causes that reflex?
It's a good question.
Well, let me ask. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to try something. We're going to do a scientific experiment here. I'm going to drink this lemon juice, but I'm going to hold my nose.
Now, we've never met.
We've
right?
never. Well, we have met many times.
Right.
Many times. But I'm going to hold my nose so that way the sour part does it.
That's the way to do it.
It's still sour.
Like you made the face?
But your taste is intact.
Yeah. But I wasn't sure if like any of that stuff
Kathy drank it, and there was no puckering, no pursing whatsoever.
Like, even with her drinking that, and I knowing what it is, caused my mouth to salivate a little bit.
Yes.
Because that's what
I'm a little engorged.
Your mouth will do. Well, that's great. All right, so here's... Okay, this will be interesting.
Oh, boy.
This is our only solid of the day.
Oh, God.
All right, Kathy, go ahead.
So wait, do I have to like...
Yeah, just stick your tongue in it.
Yeah.
Stick your tongue in there.
Stick it in.
Stick it deep in there.
Ew. What? I don't like that.
I'll give you a hint. It's not sand.
Yeah, like that. It's gristly.
Yeah.
Move your tongue around.
I have no friggin' idea.
No idea. Smell it.
I feel like it's probably a spice or something, but I have no idea.
But it should be very recognizable by taste, no question. Nothing when you smell it?
I'm trying.
She's not getting it. And she's inhaling deeply.
You would know this in a
It's
heartbeat.
Cinnamon.
Oh,
It's just straight up cinnamon.
No.
Yeah, nothing. Even after you know, it doesn't you don't recognize it.
Not that one.
Okay. Let's share some stories. Bizarre File time. Here we go.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Delco Trim Light. Visit DelcoTrimLight.com. You can schedule an estimate on installation of the coolest, most permanentist, most programmablest holiday lighting system around. I added those words. All right, we're going to go into these stories. We'll start with one in Las Vegas. On August 27th, a woman was filmed breaking into the affordable cremation and burial service funeral home in Vegas and pushing a coffin out into the street. Okay. There was a report of a body lying face down in landscaped rocks outside of the funeral home.
Just there to steal a coffin?
Upon arrival, officers discovered a casket nearby along the paperwork indicating that the victim's viewing had taken place the previous day. Surveillance footage captured the woman, later identified as 47-year-old Patricia Sierra, smashing a window to enter the building and wheel out the casket. Sierra was arrested a few days later and charged with grand larceny, burglary, disturbing human remains. She admitted to having a substance abuse issue.
There you go.
Leading to memory blackouts and could not recall her actions at night.
Did I do that?
She also confessed to other similar break-ins, stating that they were not intended to cause harm. Her bail was set at $11,000.
What is it with me in coffins?
Listen to this. In Edmore, Michigan, a man was astonished to learn that a rock that he had been using as a doorstop for decades is actually a meteorite valued at over $100,000.
Are you kidding?
He received the rock in 1988 from a farmer when he bought the property in Edmore, Michigan. The farmer had found the meteorite after witnessing it crash in the 1930s and had just kept it for years. Unaware of its true value, the man used it to prop open doors until he recently decided to have it appraised. Geologist Mona Lisa Sirbescu from Central Michigan University confirmed its rarity, identifying it as an iron nickel meteorite, 12% nickel, a high concentration for such meteorites.
It just blows my mind.
She explained that it's the most valuable specimen I have ever held in my life, monetarily and scientifically.
It's amazing. Well, you got to check out the alien spaceship I'm using as a tool shed.
Now named the Edmore meteorite for the area that it fell in, it holds a significant scientific value, being a small piece of the early solar system.
That's incredible.
For 30 years, the man did not only use it as a doorstop, but also allowed his children to bring it to school for show and tell as well. So now it's
absolutely unaware.
Besides the car you drive and the house that you live in, what's the most expensive or most amount of money or whatever that you've actually ever held in your hands?
I held a comet in my hands.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
a comet.
pretty cool.
Wow. I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know.
No clue. I don't think I've ever really held anything of any value.
I've held nothing of value in my hands.
I mean, here's a Daryl Strawberry Ricky card that a listener sent me. So, you know,
you have to go all the way to the Hampton Inn to get that, right?
Yeah, I'm holding that right now. George Washington Motor Lodge, Steve.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A Chinese man who felt something crawling up his nose one night experienced particularly bad breath for 3 days before discovering he had a cockroach stuck in his trachea. The 58-year-old man woke up to the strange sensation that something was crawling up his nose. Then he felt something go down in his throat. He started coughing, but nothing came out. So he just went back to sleep. The following day, he put the whole incident to the back of his mind and just went about his business until he realized he had particularly bad breath.
It's weird that sometimes people cannot smell or are unaware of their own breath, but it had to be really bad if he was perceiving it.
Even after 3 days, his breath still smelled disgusting. And
I think I have cockroach breath.
He also started coughing up yellow sputum. So he decided to seek medical help.
Sputum.
I've never
Sounds
heard
like a breakfast alternative.
It's spelled S-P-U.
Skip the oatmeal. I'll just have sputum.
It's spelled S-P-U-T-U-M.
Oh, you haven't heard Dr. Mike say that?
No.
Yeah, if you get a bad cough sometimes, you're hawking up stuff, he'll say you got a sputum in there.
He first went to an ENT specialist, but an examination of the upper respiratory tract found nothing suspicious. However, the patient was convinced that
a cockroach.
There was something wrong. So he deferred to Dr. Lin Ling, a respiratory and critical care physician in the hospital. He conducted a chest CT scan, found a shadow in the posterior basal segment of the right lower lobe, which indicated that a foreign object had become stuck there. Recommended course of action was minimally invasive bronchoscopy. Dr. Lin said during the procedure, I clearly saw something with wings in the bronchus.
Hi.
The foreign body was wrapped in a lot of phlegm. After sucking out the surrounding phlegm, the foreign body was exposed. It was a cockroach. After removing the bug from the man's trachea, the area was repeatedly washed and cleaned of phlegm, so the bad smell emanating from it disappeared completely shortly after. The 58-year-old man made a full recovery and was discharged the next day.
I think I just want to die. We all have this fear of insects crawling into our various orifices while we're asleep. Cockroach, sputum, I don't like it.
Dr. Ling said that such bizarre cases are very rare, but advised anyone with reasons to believe that they have a foreign body stuck in their lower respiratory tract to seek medical attention as soon as possible.
Oh, I will.
Policemen in England are slamming their unisex uniforms, claiming the trousers are crushing their testicles.
Really?
And female officers are none too pleased with their attire either, complaining that there is an uncomfortable lack of space between the waist and the crotch. The grievances recently came out during a survey of Gwent-based police in Wales, as revealed by Belinda Goodwin, the police union's national board member and well-being lead. She said the male officers had complained
The crotch down where your nuts hang is always a little too tight.
She said,
Let's see if you can't leave me about an inch from where the zipper ends round under my back to my bunghole.
That's a former president.
It's LBJ.
Describing how he likes his pants.
She said the male officers had complained of experiencing crushed testicles and added that female officers were also having issues with their unisex stride. She said all of this plays into how officers and staff feel on the job, and that cannot be understated.
Wow.
A research study from last year by Dr. Camila de Camargo, lecturer and expert in policing in Lancaster University Law School, pointed out that police uniforms are mainly designed by men for men, which causes problems like ill-fitting pants and stab vests for women on the force.
The crotch down where your nuts hang is always a little too tight.
See, if they just listened to what he was saying, they would have had a much more effective uniform.
The doctor said that this had a knock-on effect to performance, health and safety, morale, and psychological well-being. In 2021, the Sun reported that the police were looking into the idea of gender-neutral uniforms and consulting its 30,000 London-based officers on the idea.
In that audio, he's talking to a representative from Hager Slacks, I think it is?
I believe so.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it was it was a tailor that he was talking to, so... All right, and there you go. That's what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. We have a couple of guests coming up on the program. Before I mention those, Steve, you wanted to plug your event.
Yes, it is Cakes for Cats, and thank you for indulging me, Preston. It's this Friday, so it's very important. It is a happy hour event. It is at the Philadelphia Brewing Company. It's going to benefit Morris Animal Refuge and Max Fund, raising money to help community cats, get them off the street, get them taken care of medically. And it's going to be great because it is a happy hour event from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. There's going to be, you get your tickets, you enjoy complimentary beer and cider. There's going to be, so many kittens to cuddle. Live music by Kitty. Rotten food from the incredible Mashava food truck. Delicious food. I'm going to be there wandering about, raffles, prizes, and more. And all the money raised will go to help cats in the neighborhood. And you can go to PrestonandSteve.com to get all the ticket information and all the other residual information. We'd love to see you there Friday.
All right, sorry about that. So we have Tattoo Tuesday coming up, or it's actually happening right now. Text word tattoo to 39333. On the program in a little while, we're going to have actress Melissa Fitzgerald from The West Wing. She's in town for an appearance at the Free Library.
Great.
And the book is all about The West Wing, and so we'll ask her about that. And Dave Uosikkinen of the Hooters and also Adam Weiner of Low Cut Connie are going to be stopping by today, too. So we got a bunch going on. We'll take a quick break and come right back. Stay with us. No. If you're tuning in, Kathy lost her taste, and we're testing her on that. Let's do number 10, if you will, please. And we're back to liquids now.
Okay.
Let's have a little sipperoni and see what you get from that.
Is it alcohol?
Like rubbing alcohol, yeah.
No. That's all I
She's
get.
saying
It
alcohol.
doesn't taste anything, but I feel like maybe is
Like
it
vodka?
Like a vodka or something like that.
Do you get a burn from it, or
Yeah, like a little burn.
Down your throat?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's why, because it's alcohol. It's vodka. She can taste that it's alcohol, and I get that, because as you... outside of the taste in your mouth, once it goes down your throat, you get this warmness, this heat.
Right.
So,
Marissa, can I taste that one just to?
Hey, Kath, a question for you then, because I know you like to drink wine and you're pretty particular about your wines. Will you just go buy the cheapest ones possible now?
Well, no, what's funny is, because they'll probably give me a headache.
Yeah.
I was at my brother's house, and, he knows what I like to drink, and he didn't have it. And I go, what is this? He goes, it doesn't matter. Just drink it. You'll be fine.
Thunderbird.
When friends drop by who can't taste anything, give them the cheapest crap you've got in the house. That's why I reach for the Thunderbird.
James Mason approved. All right, here's the next one. This is number 11. You should get something for this.
11!
Let's see.
There's a reaction.
Got a real
scowl. She actually did De Niro there for a second.
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Whatever it is, I'm not a fan.
Not so much.
Interesting that there are bad tastes that work through.
Nick, it's not a bad taste. It's like that vinegar feeling again. Like if
Okay.
So I have no idea.
That makes sense for this. Do you want to smell it?
Smell
it. Smell it.
You can smell it.
Smell it.
Do you smell something?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's doing De Niro again.
I don't like this. I don't know what it is. I don't like it.
It's Worcestershire sauce.
And you know what? I don't put that on anything. So
Okay. Not even in Bloody Marys? Well, it's already in Bloody Marys.
no,
usually,
I'm not a Bloody Mary fan.
Okay, all right. So no dice on Worcestershire. We've got 4 more to go.
4 more.
Here is number 12.
You've had a pretty decent degree of success, Kathy. At least your ability.
Well, the vodka one I'm kind of only half giving to her because she couldn't identify it. You should be able to tell that it was vodka.
All right. A big scowl on this one. Preston's the only one who knows what this is. Preston and Marissa. So we're guessing along.
This gave the puckering again. I don't know what it is, but again, it's like triggering something in my mouth.
Take a smell. Take a sniff. You don't know. You can't taste it.
Vinegar.
Okay. Any, but it's a very specific kind of vinegar.
Yeah, the kind that smells like feet.
Okay. It is apple cider vinegar.
It'll cure everything.
A shot of that every day, right?
That's what they say.
I should get my taste back after that.
Yes.
Right. All right, we have 3 more. This is mystery taste number 13. And let's see how you do on this one.
My stomach's going to be great after this.
I know, right? Fortunately, you're just taking little baby sips, so.
You're going to be farting clouds.
All right.
Spending get a reaction.
Spending some time with this one.
Okay. Not as much as a scowl from the Worcestershire. All right, so she's feeling it.
There's like something in it, some peppers or something.
Would you say Thunderbird?
It was like there was substance to it. There's particles in there.
Particles.
I don't know what it is, but it's making my mouth burn a little bit. It has a little kick to it.
Burn a little bit. All right, but you don't know.
Can I smell it?
Sure.
Can I?
What do you think? What do you think, Ed?
Can I?
I don't know. I want to say like
good.
Pickled something again.
Pickled something.
It's hot sauce.
Straight up hot sauce.
Yeah,
What's the title of it?
Mr. Deck's hot sauce.
This is I'm the marketing director of this company.
Yeah, the name this particular flavor is called Butt Blaster.
Oh, really? Seriously?
Yeah, they're out of Newport Beach, California.
I like that.
So
All
it's
right.
very, it's a very
Powerful.
hot.
Yeah.
Who brought that?
I did. I'm seriously the marketing director of this company.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I brought it in.
Did you come up with the name Butt Blaster?
It was a collaborative effort, so yes.
Who's Mr. Dex?
A college friend, and this is a side project, and this is as far as I've gotten as marketing director.
How do you like the taste?
I love it. I put it on.
Do you put that as on
but I put it on pizza. I put it on eggs.
By the way, this particular heat rating is 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, it's not that hot.
So not crazy hot, but enough to give you some sensation.
Yeah,
all right,
definitely.
2 more. This is another solid. I didn't know we had another solid. This is the only other solid in our list. So do the tongue thing. Stick your tongue in.
Okay.
Yeah, stick
Do
it in
that
there.
tongue thing.
Stick it in there. Love it. Stick it down in there.
Come on, man.
She's like an inquisitive look.
This I get absolutely nothing.
Really?
Absolutely nothing from
Okay,
this.
so that's a nothing, and you should be able to taste it, smell it, and see if you can come up with something there.
Nothing, huh?
Like I don't know, maybe there's pepper in it? No, because I didn't feel that on my tongue at all.
No. It's garlic powder.
Oh.
Garlic powder.
Absolutely no,
I'll give you a
right?
piece of gum later.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, we have one final taste in our test for you, and let's see how you do with this one.
This one,
Yes.
I also get absolutely nothing. Like it could be water to me.
Okay.
Like it could, that's the consistency.
All right. Take a little bit more. This is the last one. Finish it all off.
Put your tongue in it.
Go ahead.
No, is it going to make my stomach hurt?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing.
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 I get absolutely nothing.
Take a sniff and see if you can tell from that.
Not really. I want to say, is it another alcohol?
Sauvignon Blanc.
Your favorite brand as well. It's Nobilo.
Oh,
wow.
I
you
get
poor
nothing.
thing.
Nothing.
That's a shame.
Sucks.
Oh, man.
So, Kat, let me ask you then.
Give me that bar.
Wait, are we done? Can I take the...
Yeah, that's it.
People will often describe water as not having a taste, but it does have a tast. And so...
Kathy can tell those taste differences.
And you can tell those taste differences. So water, for you, like, legit has no taste.
What?
He's saying that a lot of people describe water as having no taste.
Right.
You were able, I think I am as well, slightly able to discern between tap and bottled water.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it has a taste.
But
right now.
Oh, yeah.
It has zero taste.
Yeah, probably not. I can't believe I couldn't taste the Nobilo.
Oh, that's a bummer.
That's
so
crazy.
to review, she got correct and guessed correct and wasn't definitive though, but said, well, is it chocolate syrup? So you kind of knew what it was, but you really didn't say, oh, that's it.
No, none of them I knew 100%.
Yeah, all of these were semi. So chocolate syrup, vinegar, apple juice, so the sweets you could get. And one that you could definitely, that I think you got the best was pickle juice.
Yeah, that was,
so maybe if
Have
you
some
really
pickles.
want to taste something
put pickles on it.
flavor-wise, you could have pickles.
Yeah.
And the other one was vodka. Or I put in alcohol because you didn't quite get the vodka right. So out of 15, you were able to identify really 4, and that's it.
Marissa, was the I'll just say it, the honey was that usable? By the way, I just grabbed these things out of the
Oh, you know what? I just stopped at 15. We brought so many
no problem.
things,
There-
so.
it
You wanna
has
see if you can smell it.
the
yet?
honey has a taste to it.
Is that like spiced habanero or
There's
something?
another taste, and I'd be curious if she'd be able to taste. Don't show her the label if you can avoid
Oh,
it.
what? Like it's
It's
flavored honey.
certain
It's got
honey?
another fruit in it,
Oh,
and
right,
I'd be
okay.
curious if with the sweet stuff you could do it. All right.
I won't look. I guess I can.
You can look at it.
Yeah.
Geez.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Rub it on your sweater.
Stick your tongue in it. Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get it?
No.
Nothing?
Can you taste the sweet of the honey?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I can taste the sweet of the honey.
Nothing else.
No.
Because it's blueberry honey.
Blueberry honey. Okay.
I'm going to try that.
No, and I'm having even the smell with this one is a little tough.
Ah.
All right. Wow, well, that sucks, man. Hopefully this is going to be quick
Just
acting
400
and-
days.
And, yeah.
I know, that poor guy.
I know.
I
400
really
days.
hope it doesn't.
He said he was rage eating. Just eating out of anger. Even though he can't taste it, he's still going to eat something that he knows his body likes.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm not. I mean, I'm still eating meals because yes, you still get hungry,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm not really snacking because what's
Yeah.
the point? Like, I don't feel like anything because I know I'm not going to be able to taste it.
Yeah, a lot of times snacking is just you want some flavor.
What
Yeah.
about hot drinks or things like that, like coffee? Nothing.
Not really. I mean, I know
people have said coffee is a big insider.
Well, and you know what, Steve? When it first happened, I was not leaving the house, obviously.
Right.
So I wasn't going to get my coffee. I could make it at the house, but I was kind of skipping it because I couldn't taste it, and I was getting the headache.
Do you think
and
you're
I'm
trying?
like, oh my God, wait. That's like the caffeine headache. You need it.
Do you think you're going to try that orange thing?
Listen, I'll try anything. Let's.
Might as well, right? I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And if for some reason it does, then you're good to go. Okay. All right, this has been the Kathy Romano Taste Test. And, young children can learn new things faster than you can.
Yeah.
Brown University researchers found children of elementary school age can learn more items within a given period of time than adults. They say this is due to differences in a brain messenger known as GABA. GABA.
Is that okay? Yo Gabba Gabba. I mean, is Yo Gabba Gabba just nonsense, or does that have something to do with what you're
like
talking
Radio
about?
Gaga?
It may have something behind it, Case, which this stabilizes newly learned material. GABA does. Specifically, children were found to have a rapid boost of GABA during visual training that lasts until after training ends.
I think this is just an attempt to get people to say GABA.
Gabba Gabba. What does he
I've
say?
got a great idea. We'll pretend that we have the results of a study, and the thing we'll refer to as GABA to go along with it.
In adults,
this replaces last week's study that involved butt munch. There were no takers on that, but I think GABA we can get in there.
You remember when you were a kid, like butt munch would have been would have been a suitable insult.
Yeah. Hey, butt munch!
Shut up, butt munch!
You're disturbing my research on GABA.
In adults,
Gabba Gabba cool, man. That's what he says, right?
Zappa Zappa cool.
Oh,
Zappa cool.
That's right.
Thank you, Kathy. Our next guest spent 7 seasons and 102 episodes on The West Wing, and she will be appearing tomorrow at the Free Library for an event at 7:30 to promote her new book, along with co-author Mary McCormack. The book is called What's Next? A Backstage Pass to The West Wing, and we have music. It's cast and crew, and its enduring legacy of service. Please welcome Melissa Fitzgerald to the show. Good morning,
Thank
Melissa.
you. Good morning. Thanks for having me. That song gets me every time.
You get a little goosebump
I
thing?
do.
Yeah.
I've heard it 6,000 times, but I still get moved. Snuffy Walden is the composer of that song. I mean, listen to it.
It's moving.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. It is. It has sort of a. There's a composer, Mark Isham, who does a lot of quasi similar stuff, and you have no soul if it doesn't catch you.
I agree. I agree.
So welcome back to the area. You have a history here.
I failed to mention.
Yes, yeah.
I'm a Philly girl.
Your alma mater is Marissa Magnata's school, it's Springside.
Yes.
Wow.
Now it's co-ed, so it's Springside, Chestnut Hill. But when we both went, it was just plain old Springside, all girls.
Wow.
And I went there from kindergarten till I went to college.
And your father was a judge.
Yes.
Is he still with us?
He's still alive, yes, and
Okay.
he's probably listening at home right now in Philly. But he was a justice on the state Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. So.
No kidding.
Wow.
Wow. So what area did you grow up in then?
Chestnut Hill.
Okay.
Well, there we go.
Parents still in my childhood home. So
Mount Airy right now.
Oh, are you really?
Chestnut Hill's great. Love
Right
it.
in the hood.
Love the his right in the hood. Yeah. Chestnut Hill is the hood.
When did you get out of Philadelphia and get into the world of acting? How did that path
Well, I started the world of acting in like my childhood here in Philly at Springside School, and then went to University of Pennsylvania, and I was in the Penn Players and the Penn Singers there, so it was a light opera company, and then I moved to New York right after college and went to the Neighborhood Playhouse School of the Theater, and I did a 2-year conservatory program there. And then I stayed there for a couple years and did theater, and I actually produced a couple plays, and then I moved to Los Angeles and started doing TV and film.
And you hit pay dirt with, your resume, and you've pretty much left acting on that level, and you're now doing a lot of wonderful work, which we'll get into, and it's kind of the dual nature of the book.
Yes.
I mean, when the stars align and you have Aaron Sorkin creating a series, and you have an ensemble cast that's probably one of the absolute best ever.
Yep.
And your resume was not super huge at that point. And I know you go into it in the book. Again, there's two things running in the book, but the process that landed you the role, was it particularly difficult or was it sort of straight through?
I mean, I think everything's difficult in acting, but
Yeah.
but this was, I read the script. Aaron had two scripts at the time. One was called Sports Night and the other was The West Wing. And I read both scripts at the same time, although West Wing was not going to be on the air for another year. Sports Night was being cast right away, but I read both of them, and I said, Sports Night's going to be the best show on TV. The West Wing's going to be the best show ever on TV. And I stand by that.
Wow.
And
a good call.
And I wasn't always as ambitious about my acting career as maybe I could have been, but I was very ambitious about getting on that show because I'd never read a script like that in my whole life. And I knew that it's just magic when you have something that is so artistically brilliant, but also has social significance and value. I just thought, if I can even be a teeny tiny part of this, I really want to.
And he didn't want to do episodic television. He just did the American President, right?
Yep.
So, and so that was a hit. But all the stars aligned. And I, reading about the book and reading the reviews, it's interesting because I don't think I've ever, and we talk to actors and television actors and film actors all the time, and Preston, and we always sort of lament the fact that we're used to this collective that we consider friends, and then they don't really remain friends after.
Yeah.
And that is the absolute opposite of what happened here.
We were so lucky. And you have to point to leadership for that too, plus sort of the magic of this group of people. But we are, 25 years after the beginning of The West Wing, and I think 18 after it went off the air. We're still on a daily text chain. Like I will get, I was on the train coming back here last night.
That's great.
And we were texting back and forth. And really I credit in the book Mary McCormick, who, is my co-author on this book, but she and I have become very good friends through, the text chain, but its service has brought us back together over the course of these years. We all have different projects, different issues and charities that we care tremendously about, and we all support each other's charities.
It's great because on our show, we all have things because you can't take and not give back. You can't have a soul and do that. You can't, invest back in the people who have given us all that we have here, and just in life, or people who are in need. And you guys,
what are you doing here if not that? Right?
Exactly. I wonder, because you described I was reading an interview with you and you were talking about that Martin Sheen kind of set the tone early on.
Yeah.
He comes on the set day one of filming the series, introduces himself to everyone, every extra, every cast member, and then he did something that I think is kind of fascinating. It's probably what helped cement you guys together. He insisted you all ate together.
Yes.
All the time, correct?
Yeah, and on a TV or film sets, background artists aren't usually treated particularly well, and they're given different food. They eat in a different spot, and they're certainly not the lead of the show isn't going and introducing himself and having a conversation with each and every one. But it was one of my first days of work, and Martin came to set, and that particular scene had many, many background artists in it. And we were, the producers are ready to go. Martin comes out and starts shaking the hands of each and every background artist and had a real conversation like, "Hi, Martin Sheen, so glad you're with us. Oh, thank you for being with us today." And I was watching him, and as a young actor, I was looking, I'm like, what is he doing? Like, it's going to take time. And then I just stepped back for a second and I said, he's teaching all of us how this is going to go down from here on out.
He set the tone.
And I'm not saying that he did it consciously. That's just who he is.
We had the pleasure of having him in the studio with Emilio Estevez, and it was amazing. And we talked a little bit about West Wing, though we were asked not to, but we did anyway because we don't. And it was very cool.
But we really wanted to ask, what the hell happened to Charlie?
I've met Charlie a couple times, and he's wonderful.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure he is. Hey, I wanted to ask, because you had mentioned Mary off air, you said it's amazing you guys are still friends because you spent 5 years writing this book together, and that can be an arduous process.
It was very hard. Look, we started out to do a 300-page book about our friendships, the West Wing, and service. And then as we did over 100 interviews, and as we were interviewing, we started basically with our text chain and our friends, and then we thought, you know what? the show was the show because of our makeup artists, because of the props people, because of the background artists. So that was an important part to us to interview everyone. So the book just kept growing and growing and
600
growing.
pages
And it's
now?
almost
Yeah.
600.
Wow.
So it really took a lot longer than we thought it was going to take, and it was a ton of work. But and it was interesting because a lot of people have asked us about the process. Like, did you disagree? Did you this? I'm like, yes, of course we disagreed on certain things. But what was interesting and really valuable to me is that we would talk it out. And sometimes I'd be like, you know what? Not as important to me as it is to you. And then sometimes she would say the same thing. And then sometimes we would work on it and come up with a much better solution than either of us had at the beginning.
You have no option. You got to
Right.
finish the book, and it's there's a conversational aspect to it because
Yes.
you're both exchanging thoughts, and you have to service. I mean, if you're going to write the comprehensive book about the West Wing, you have to be meticulous about that. But the part of it that I find fascinating as well is that you all actively have sunk, as you said yourselves, into service in all different kinds. You focused in on justice and justice reform and veterans.
Yes.
And you've done amazing stuff. And I want to get the name of the movie right. Halfway Home.
Correct.
Right. And explain what that is because you've been walking the walk.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'd started off actually I'd gone to Northern Uganda. I'd done a theater program for economically disadvantaged teens in Los Angeles for many years, and then brought a version of that program to Northern Uganda to work with former abducted child soldiers. And then we did a documentary about it. And as I was working on that, the editor of that was doing another documentary. He had an idea for a documentary on returning veterans who were struggling and self-medicating and, struggling with PTS. And I said, oh gosh, I would love to work on that with you. So the two of us worked on that and some other people, Katie Fox, who's from this area too. And we produced that. And then I lost a dear friend to addiction. And Martin Sheen said, why don't you come with me to this conference of this organization that's now called All Rise in Washington, D.C. There are thousands of people working on behalf of individuals in the justice system impacted by substance use and mental health disorders, promoting treatment and recovery support instead of incarceration. And my dad had started one of these courts here in Philly. He was one of the people that started the mental health court in Philly. So I was very excited to join Martin, came to D.C. for that conference, fell in love with the work they were doing. They had just launched a veterans division called Justice for Vets. And, I supported them. They screened our film Halfway Home at their conference, and they called and said, hey, Melissa, we're looking for a new senior director of Justice for Vets. If you know anybody, let us know. And I said, if I were a veteran, I'd throw my hat in the ring. 2 days later, they called back and they said, were you serious? And I was sitting in my, place in the Hollywood Hills, and I said, yeah, I was. And they said, well, when can you start? And this was October. And I said, well, how about January? It would give me time to, And they said, how about Monday? And I said, how about January? And they said, how about Monday? Monday it was.
They're just not working with you, but you found sort of your calling.
Absolutely.
And it's a thing. So I do some work with an organization, Alpha Bravo Canine, which provides service dogs for these very same veterans who are suffering from post-traumatic stress. And the stories are sadly plentiful. And you think of all these people who in a country of 330 million plus feel the sense of isolation after all that they've done for us. It's criminal. So it's so good that you're doing that.
Well, I feel lucky because it's also inspiring. I see people get better every single day and thrive with the right evidence-based treatment, the wraparound supports, and it's through the court system. It's amazing.
Yeah. Melissa, I love when anyone, a politician, a professor, or whomever, can make a really coherent, cogent, salient argument based in logic. And it helps when those arguments are written by Aaron Sorkin. and so I'll watch these clips, and they're brilliant. They're unbelievably brilliantly written. When you would get a script and you would read it, or even you would see your fellow actors, deliver one of those speeches, didn't your jaw just drop?
Yes, it was the best job ever. It was unbelievable. I remember because it was back in the day, and they would hand deliver scripts to us in our where we lived. So they were, wrapped and sealed. And it says, if this seal is broken, please contact Warner Brothers, because it would be the new script.
Yes.
So it would, come to my front door and I'd go get it. And I would turn off my phone, close my door, and wait till I had like an hour to read it, because I wanted to read it start to finish, because it was just magic to read his words. It was like a film every week or every 10 days. And then going into work, just watching Allison Janney deliver, or Brad Whitford or Richard Schiff or Martin Sheen, Janelle Maloney, Dule Hill, like all, Mary.
Rob Lowe.
It was unbelievable. Rob Lowe and, then Josh Malina, who ruined The West Wing. I'm not saying that. He says it in his...
He says it himself. Well, you are dealing with someone who's, again, very impactful. And there are so many Sorkin-isms and Sorkin... and, of course, the most famous is the walk and talk.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, when so many of them are occurring and you see them so many, and I love them, because I think also on the technical side, you have cameras moving and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Were there any serious injuries or near serious injuries that occurred during the walk and
I did get slammed in a wall once when we were going through a corridor on location. I was like, ow. But I always say that my favorite walk and talk is the one I'm not in. Because they're so hard and you never want to be, and I luckily didn't have to do very many of them, but you never want to be at the end of a walk and talk because they're runners. So if you screw up at the end, you got to go all the way back. So it's a reset for everybody, and everybody's like, oh.
It's like screwing up the Mecca scene in the Ten Commandments.
Yes.
If you're just tuning in, Melissa Fitzgerald is here from the West Wing, and her appearance is going to be at the Free Library of Philadelphia tomorrow at 7:30. Melissa, I would, for as successful as this show ran for 7 seasons, it just wasn't on my radar at the time. And Nick has told me on a few occasions, he's like, Preston, you will love this show. You need to go watch this show. Are you finding that there are people that are doubling back now?
Oh my gosh.
And just discovering this show?
100%. And it holds up because I hadn't watched it until because I actually felt a little bit sad to watch it because it was such a great time of my life. And I was almost sad to go revisit it. But of course I did and revisited it quite a lot writing this book. But it really holds up. It's a phenomenal show. And young people are finding it, like teenagers. And that's so fun. And so many people, because I live in D.C., will come up to me, some 23-year-old, and say, I'm here because of the West Wing. Thank you.
Well,
and
politicians have come forward and said they've been inspired by it. And then also, I believe, somehow there's a DNA that led to Hamilton. Was it?
That's right. It's in our book too.
Yeah.
We interviewed Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he was really inspired by the West Wing, and there are very specific songs in there that are inspired by lines from the West Wing, and we write about it in our book because he told us, and he said it was such a part of his DNA because he loved it so much. He said there were a couple things I was aware that I was, sort of using in Hamilton. And he goes, but later on, I'm like, damn it, I took that one too. But he said that he and Tommy Kail, who, produced, he said they always say back to each other, as long as I have a job, you have a job. And that's a line from the West Wing, Leo and Bartlett.
And what's next is
that's right.
Is as well. So with this and with you're able to employ your abilities as an actor and understanding movies and TV to get the message out about these things that you're involved with. So what is on your potential documentary radar coming up for you? What are you focusing in on now?
Documentary-wise, am I going to make a documentary?
Yeah, because you
I think I'm going to take a nap.
You're going to take a nap. You just want to lay down.
I'm going to promote this book. Yeah. We're going to get it out as much as possible, not only for the Wingnuts, which are super fans of the show. We call them Wingnuts.
It's a great name.
Isn't it great? Yeah. So the Wingnuts are really excited about the book. We want to make sure that everybody knows about it and that they get it, but also to introduce, more people. And we're finding that fans are loving it, but also they're introducing, like, my mom never watched the show, but I gave her the book and now she's watching the show and reading the book. And so that's exciting for us, but also the charities and the issues and causes that we highlight in the book, because we do that. And that was really important to us.
And they'll benefit from this.
We hope so. We hope that people will, I'm sure know a lot of the ones that are already in here, but maybe they'll be introduced to a new one and support it.
And these are courtesy of each cast member and what they're supporting?
Yes, and the things that they're passionate about. And certainly mine, All Rise, you can go to allrise.org, is the one, that I'm passionate about, that Martin Sheen got me involved in. And I certainly hope that one gets a big lift, and all of them.
I think we get tired of seeing people who are, talking at us. And so the big thing they're going to do is, and SNL had a great skit about it. I'm going to put an Instagram post on it. Now, you guys are out walking the walk. You're out doing the stuff. And it's such a fulfilling thing to get involved on that way. You can see it's completely changed the direction of your life.
100%. And we're so lucky. We all realize how fortunate we were to have lightning in a bottle to be part of the show. And we were each given a lot of opportunities to support different causes and charities because of our involvement in this show. And if you don't take advantage of that, then shame on you. And we all do. And we're very lucky. Brad Whitford said, that he was told when he got the West Wing and became really successful that Anthony Edwards said to him, "You now have a lot of capital from this show. You can choose to spend it on yourself or you can spend it on others. And I think if you don't spend it on others, kind of shame on you."
I mean, he was kind of an idiot in Revenge of the Nerds, so you got to he had to do something to make up for it.
He does a lot, though. He's tireless and has been so supportive of us and this book and our causes. He's amazing.
At the event tomorrow, you and Mary, are you going to be reading excerpts? Or are you going to be answering questions? What are you doing?
We
are you
probably
meeting
aren't going to
people?
read anything. It'll be moderated. We'll have a conversation kind of like this. We'll tell behind-the-scenes stories. We'll... and also, Patrick Murphy, former congressman, he'll be joining us at the end to come on and talk a little bit about how the West Wing inspired him, because he's in our book too. And it'll be a fun, lively conversation.
I want to know who is all on that text chain. So you got
the
Bradley
usual
Whitford,
suspects.
Allison Janney.
Yep. Janelle Maloney,
Martin
Dule
Sheen.
Hill. Martin's not on it because he doesn't do the texting.
Okay.
But,
Oliver Platt?
No, it's Mary.
Just the main core.
It's Mary, me, it's Janelle, Dule, Richard, Allison. Am I forgetting someone? Obviously, I think I said Mary, Brad.
Does it have a name? Do you have a name for it?
West Wing.
West Wing. I wasn't sure.
Very creative.
Yeah, call up Sorkin for a creative name.
We need you to polish this up a little
Aaron,
bit.
we need a text chain name.
And then, Martin, if he has something, he's like, his wife Janet will text me because she does do texting. He doesn't. But she'll say, "Hey, could you post this? Tell all the West Wingers this." And then, one of us will post that up there and Martin's doing this. Can someone come support that? So that's how we do that.
So you stepped away from acting altogether?
Well, do you ever step away from acting altogether? I don't know. But I did. I do criminal justice reform full-time at All Rise, and it's very full-time, so I work long hours and stuff. But I've been very fortunate because Martin Sheen had asked me if I wanted to do the play Love Letters with him, and it has a... it's a beautiful play, A.R. Gurney's play, and it's a two-person play. And, of course, what an honor and a joy to be able to do.
Did you do this in D.C.?
We did it at the Kennedy
I was reading
Center.
about this.
Yeah, we did it in honor of National Recovery Month, which is right now, by the way. And we did it last year for National Recovery Month, and then we did it again at my national conference for All Rise, which has 8,000 people. So we performed it to a really big crowd at our conference. Because of the themes, it really resonates. And just to bring that up, that it is National Recovery Month, and there are over 22 million Americans living in recovery right now. So I think, sometimes it feels hopeless because addiction is very real, but so too is recovery, and there is hope.
It's a great message. It's a message you want to get out in any effective way you can.
Yes.
We've all, my brother's, a recovering alcoholic, and he's doing great. Life turns around. It can turn around.
And does every single day, and I see it in courtrooms all across the country. So there's hope, and there's also the 988 number. If somebody's struggling, there's the 988 number. If somebody's in trouble, please use that. It is a great resource.
Absolutely.
Melissa, I have to ask, once your stars started to rise, you become successful in the West Wing, did you ever invite any of your Philly friends to come out, and did they ever embarrass you with an Eagles chant or anything like that in the middle of work?
Always. My parents came out once. It was really funny because they wanted me to go to law school, and obviously I didn't.
You made it to the White House.
That's right. I did, didn't I?
You did.
And I also played a nurse on General Hospital, so I did a lot of things. But
it takes years normally to get those jobs.
Right? So I invited my parents to come, which is a really unusual thing. We have every new episode, you do a table read, which is all the actors sit around the table and read the new script. And every department head comes, all the producers come, the directors, everybody. And most shows, not all the actors show up for those table reads. On the West Wing, everybody showed up. It was a deal, and it was an honor, and we were thrilled to do it because the scripts were so great. So my parents got to go to one of those.
Wow.
And Martin Sheen went up to them after, which I loved, and he said, "How was it?" They were so excited, "Oh, it was amazing. It was the best thing ever." And then he said, "Aren't you glad she didn't go to law school?"
Martin Sheen.
And I'm like, "I'll give you your $5 later, Martin."
That's wonderful.
Took your parents out.
Wow. Did you get to spend some time in the real West Wing?
Yes.
How was that?
Amazing. I mean, we got to, at the time, we had a tea in the Rose Garden. We got to meet our counterparts. But since then, because of the work that I do also in D.C., I have gotten to go and meet with many people who work there. And, I know that people who work in government get a bad name. not in my book. The people that I've met and I've gotten a chance to work with are really committed, hardworking, very smart, who could be making a ton more money doing anything else, and they're not. They're choosing to do the most good for the most people.
Well, the thing is, and it's something that has to be remembered, is you are going to achieve more by building consensus,
100%.
looking for the commonality. Stop digging your feet in and look at the good that can be done. And of course, you're passionate about what you're doing, and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So, and again, in this case, with such a virulent problem, with addiction and recovery and all that stuff.
We need everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we do get support from both sides of the aisle.
Yeah.
And this is one of the issues.
Because it affects everybody.
And you see how successful the work that we're doing is because of that.
Yep.
So it is, I think, a model for other issues.
It's awesome. It really is. It really is.
By the way, if you would like to go to the event, and I'm not familiar with this, it says you need to register to do that.
But it's like pay what you want. So you can go for free. You can
Okay.
pay a couple bucks to the thing, but you just have to go to and I'm sure if you show up, they're not going to turn you away anyway, but I shouldn't say
You
that.
get bounced out of a library. I just got bounced out of a library.
It's just to make sure that they don't have more people than they do have space.
Yeah, so it's freelibrary.org, and if you want to make a donation, you can definitely do that, but it is tomorrow.
Make the donation, damn it. Yeah.
It's tomorrow at 7:30. Well, it is wonderful to meet you.
Oh, it's so great to meet you, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're proud of all our hometown famous, well-done, awesome people. And Mary McCormack will be joining you as well.
Yep.
So it should be a great event. The weather's wonderful, so people will be out and about.
Yeah,
and
come tomorrow night, 7:30, free library.
Definitely.
And it'll be fun. It's definitely lively. Mary has a great sense of humor, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, the name of the book is called What's Next? A Backstage Pass to the West Wing. It's cast and crew, and it's enduring legacy of service. Thank you, Melissa Fitzgerald.
Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure. We're going to take a break. We'll come back in a second, and we have more guests on the way as well as Back to School A to Z, so please stay with us. Philadelphia has more than 300 historical markers spread throughout the city, each recognizing a significant person, a place, or an event that shaped Philadelphia's deployment. We were just talking about this.
I love to read them.
I do too. Casey does not like to read them because
It's not that I don't like. I'm just not interested.
I got you.
It'll be a waste of my time because I will forget everything 3 steps after I walk away.
By the way, the new markers were selected from 91 applications, bringing the state's total number of markers to more than 2,500 since the program started in 1946. You want to hear who some of them are?
Yes, please.
All right, these are the ones that are going to be in Philadelphia. John G. Johnson will be celebrated.
But your cousin has to call me Jimmy.
Johnson earned his nickname America's Best Lawyer. Practicing from 1862 to 1884. Among his clients were U.S. Steel, Standard Oil, DuPont, J.P. Morgan, and other corporations. So he had the big
Sorry,
clients.
Alaska.
Yeah.
You're not a state yet.
He has a kick-ass mustache, too, by the way.
Absolutely.
Johnson's personal
ladies loved him.
Art collection was, you know what he invented?
The mustache ride.
Free mustache rides. He invented that T-shirt.
Yeah, out on the back of his Conestoga wagon, it said, the bitch fell off.
Yep, and free mustache rides.
I propose the ability to ride my mustache to any lady within the city limits. Anytime, day or night, contact me and I will allow you to sit akimbo across my face. Oh, and I'm also a lawyer.
He's also a lawyer, yes. Also, Samuel V. Merrick, notable industrialist during the early years of the Industrial Revolution. He built Philadelphia's Southwark Foundry, one of the most advanced manufacturing plants of its kind in the U.S., and co-founded the Franklin Institute.
Hey. And I invented the steam-powered Sibian. It was a time of frustrated sexual appetites. And spinsters couldn't get any.
That thing was powered by steam?
Yeah.
That's powerful, man.
Absolutely. We lost many young ladies. Many of them that caught on in Philadelphia ended up in Delaware.
Yes. It shot them across state lines. We're going to try this thing. We try to have toys to play with when we do the Camp Out for Hunger. And Casey found this thing. It's called the Meltdown. All right, so we're looking at a video of this outside right now. If you guys want to go outside and see this in person, you can. If you want to stay in here and watch this on the video, that's fine. I think Steve and I are going to try to head out there.
Yes.
All right, so let me describe this. It's a big ring. It's like a square, actually. It looks like it's about 20 by 20.
It's a square ring.
And in the middle of it, I'll say like a boxing ring.
Yeah.
All right, so that's square. All right, anyhow, inside the middle of it is this big apparatus. It's a large arm, and obviously the object is to avoid this arm as it swings around. Now, I was out here playing with this earlier.
Yeah.
It's got 3 settings on it. All right, it's got slow, medium, and fast.
Yeah.
Fast is insane.
Is it? Oh,
it is.
Well,
like,
so
no way in hell.
All right, Steve. When I put my when it was going fast, I was thinking, oh, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to do this, and I put my arm up just to see what it felt like.
Right. And it ripped it off.
It almost ripped my arm straight off my body.
Do you think you could time it? Because that's obviously the key.
I don't know. And I was going to bail on this until Marissa made me feel like a giant puss.
All right, because Marissa's doing it, Casey's doing it, Nick is doing it, and we needed a 4th because the rest of us are going to get killed.
Yeah.
So Kyle is going to wide-angle Kyle, who went on the road trip with Casey and Jackie Bam Bam.
Yes, wide angle. You know, me and campout stunts have such a good history.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start these guys off on slow, see how they do. We'll try out medium.
No way.
And by the way, what did you tell me about fast, about recommended?
Not recommended for a very long amount of time.
Yes. All right. Fast is not recommended for a very long amount of time for a reason. So you will either have to jump or duck as this is going around. And all these guys are mic'd, so this should be interesting as far as the sounds that we're going to get from this.
Do you know what makes this wild, Preston, is that what they're really not standing on is very firm. It's very bouncy.
Yeah.
So that can be very confusing.
This is inflatable, and it is squishy. So, all right, your name again?
Jacob.
All right, Jacob is going to be he's going to be our inquisitor here. All right, Jacob, you ready? All right, let's begin with and give us a little bit of music, Ryan, if you could, back at the studio. All right, here we go. Let's begin on slow and see how we do. All right. And
wait, come on!
Casey gets immediately.
I thought it was going that way.
Mulligan.
I thought it was going clockwise.
Mulligan.
Oh, it changes directions.
Okay.
All
He's
right,
going to go back, isn't he? He's going to go counterclockwise.
Wait, does it? Here we go. All right, Marissa ducks successfully. Nick jumped over. Casey goes under. Kyle goes over the top. Marissa is down.
Yeah!
Oh my God. Casey successfully ducked. And Kyle, whoa!
He
I'm
made
great
it
at
over.
this.
Way over the top.
I like this game.
Oh, down.
Jesus.
Over.
Dude,
All right, hold on.
The jumping is useless.
It's on medium now. Hold on. This is. Oh my God! Stop! Hold on, Casey.
I knew this was going to happen.
Casey, are you okay?
What?
Yeah, he's okay.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay. That looked painful.
All right, I got to ask you something.
That was slow.
In what world does a non-Olympic athlete clear that? That was incredibly hard.
Did you see his neck?
Yes.
I would just like you guys to know while you were watching Casey fall, Kyle rode the thing until he knocked me down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I knocked you down?
I mean,
And the breathing situation that's taking place right now while everybody has a minute.
By the way, Casey's still down on the ground.
Oh, he's up now.
All right.
I'll tell you this, what was hilarious, Kyle was clearing it pretty well, but at one point it caught him and threw him into Marissa.
Yes. I missed it.
What's that weekly exercise class you do I need in?
Fortunately, we'll have video of this because I missed that part of it. I was so focused on watching Casey get knocked clear out of the air.
The worst part, so I don't even care about my neck.
So
were my love handles out?
No, you're
not. Okay.
You look stunning.
No, it wasn't embarrassing at all.
No.
Do you guys want to try it on fast?
Oh, no.
No. That was slow. Can we go to medium?
Wait, that was medium.
Okay.
We went from slow to medium.
Can we go to super medium first?
Let's try fast.
Extra medium.
What do you want to do medium and then fast?
I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly,
do that.
put us out of our misery.
All right.
Just kill us.
We're going to do fast, okay? All right, Jacob, on your mark, get set, and go. Here comes fast. All right, Casey out. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's insane. Oh, my God. Dude. No. Casey's hitting it. He's kicking it. He's punching it.
The thing clocked me in the back of the head.
I'm pretending I'm in a box.
Are you concussed?
I got donkey punched.
You know what? Actually, we got paid by that person you were dealing with over at Villanova to clock you in the back of the head.
Oh, my goodness.
Are we doing this again?
Yeah, one more time.
So what speed was that, Preston?
That was fast.
What if I just ride it? Can I ride it?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Oh, this is going to be bad.
Will that work? All right, let's try it. Have Marissa on medium. Here we go.
I need something to hold on to it.
That last
I
Watch your leg.
2 seconds.
All right.
Let's go. Let's go.
right, you ready? Wait, Nick's in the corner.
Oh, I didn't hear no bell.
All right, fast. On your mark, get set, and go. And it's off. Nick's down.
I think he broke it.
Marissa's stuck on the end. She's hanging on.
She was hanging on, got thrown off. Kyle tried to clear the whole thing.
It almost launched Marissa out of the ring.
Yeah, I gotta say, Preston, this device is very strong.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I can say why now you don't wear sneakers in this thing. I think it's just in my...
All right, let's try it on slow and see if you guys can actively do it, and then we'll speed it up as we go along.
Great.
All right?
Sure.
There we go. Final round, most likely. We'll see.
It's gonna have to poop.
Jacob, slow. Here we go. And it begins. Okay, come on, Casey.
Get over.
Kyle's over.
Over.
God, damn it in the gut.
You got to duck. You got to chill.
Casey, that was coordinated. Yeah, dump that. Good. Dump that. I think, oh my God. Got me in the pills.
Everyone is on the ground now.
I'm up. That was directly in the balls.
We lost.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
Casey's fighting it.
It's alive.
Casey's actually fist fighting it.
All right, here we go. Coming around to Casey.
Is this survival of the fittest?
Oh, my God.
Kyle, be careful. Oh, gosh.
I think it broke.
I think it broke.
It's over, right?
We broke it. No, Jacob says it ain't broke.
Oh, man. Jacob.
Go. Sure it's broken.
I thought you were on our side, Jacob.
Wait, Preston.
Nick's alone.
Casey needs his cut man.
Oh, my God. This thing is insane.
It's insane.
And, oh, my God. We saw your love handles that time, Case.
Casey flew into Marissa. I don't know how you
taken out by everyone but Nick.
What's that, Steve?
I don't know how you could do that.
I know.
Kyle's tall. He can't jump and clear it.
And by the way, this is the small version of this. They have a bigger one for like 8 people.
Can we tie your shoe?
This thing.
Jesus.
All right. I think, have they had enough abuse?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, Marissa's being given the last rites.
Kathy, you sure you don't want to try this?
Come on, Kathy.
I'm pretty sure.
Kathy's back was hurting. This would kill her.
All right.
This will fix it.
So, who do we deem our winner? Do we have a winner? Is it Marissa?
Yeah.
What?
She was the first to raise her arms.
It's great to have our guest back in our studio this morning. He's here to talk about a movie that is going to be in theaters on April 13th. It is a story of a gentleman by the name of Father Stuart Long, and it's called Father Stu. We're happy to have Mark Wahlberg here with us.
Morning, guys. I feel like I just broke the fourth wall. I watched her do the traffic. Wow, that was classic. And I knew she was going to mention the Schuylkill. Schuylkill first thing. Schuylkill.
Well, you're an honorary Philadelphian. I mean, let's face it.
Take a lot of pride in that too.
Yes, yeah. I remember when the Eagles were heading to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You came on with us, man, and we never forgot that. And of course, you're Vince Papale, so that's.
I actually, it was the only time I could stomach the Patriots losing.
I know.
It was to my Eagles, yeah.
And we believe you when you said it, so that meant a lot.
No,
so,
it's true.
Yeah.
It was true. It was an honor to put that uniform on.
So, Mark, the story of Father Stuart is it's pretty wild, man. It's and I'm curious before we go down. The storyline of people may not be familiar with the life of Father Stu. How did this story get to you?
Oh gosh, it sounds like one of those jokes. I'm an Italian restaurant in Beverly Hills with two priests, and literally on a Saturday afternoon, one of them starts pitching me a movie. And he told me the story once. I wasn't really paying attention. He started telling me again, and then it just dawned on me. Oh my gosh, this is something that I should do. I'm always looking for the next great challenge, and more importantly, this is also an opportunity for me to do something that really kind of represents my faith, and hopefully will help a lot of people. And people are really touched by the film.
There's a lot to be gleaned from this movie, and I'm a sucker for this kind of story. The fact that it's real only makes it that much more impactful. But there's redemption. There's a false start to redemption that is driven home by a more cataclysmic event that occurs with Father Stu, but also all the things like I think forgiveness and things that we lose sight of. I was talking to Casey prior to having you on today about we've forgotten how to take people as a whole entity,
and most importantly, seeing the good in people.
And that point is driven home in the movie. Is that we're all imperfections. We're all and that part of it, but retain the ability to say, this may not be something I'm thrilled about this person, but they did this. There's something in there, and that point's driven home as well. There's something in Father Stu that makes him able to slalom into the right people's spheres who help him along.
Yeah, and he's then in turn touched so many people in such a short amount of time during the priesthood. But it's remarkable. I just went to Helena, Montana. We had the premiere there, and to see all the people, to show the film to his family, his friends, parishioners, but also see how many people he touched.
Right.
It's remarkable. I mean, you really feel his presence there, and now we're getting to share that with the whole world.
For those who don't know his story, and I don't want to give away too much of maybe what you want to keep for the people who view the film, what is his story for those who may not know?
Well, he was a boxer. You know, his parents, he lost a younger brother really early on, and his parents didn't really have the coping skills to deal with that. He was left to his own devices. He became a fighter. He was angry at the world. He then tried to go to Hollywood to become an actor, fell in love with a girl, would do anything to be with her.
WMMR.
All right, thank you, Kathy. So our next two guests in our studio are representing two different bands, a documentary, a band project, some shows coming up, some recordings. It's ridiculous how much stuff, and they are good friends of ours. We would like to welcome first and foremost Mr. Adam Weiner of Low Cut Connie.
Yo.
And right next to him, Mr. David Uosikkinen of the Hooters.
Hey, fellas. How are
Good
you?
to see you guys.
What's up?
Thanks for coming in this morning.
Good to see you.
We're great, man. Like, you guys have a lot going on. You have a whole lot going on.
And you also have the new spokespeople for Flex Seal, which is an amazing way to seal up holes.
Any leaks that you make.
And we have some leaks. Trust me.
So first, let's touch on this, Adam, because the documentary about Low Cut Connie, it's called Art Dealers. It came out, or it's coming out on the 12th. It's tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Or day after tomorrow. I'm
Thursday,
sorry.
7 o'clock at PFS East, which used to be Ritz East. You know that joint?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to see me naked, come see the movie.
That's the promise?
Really?
I'll tell you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of great reviews for this movie. And we were talking before this. Chris Gore does a friend of mine from years ago does a film review channel called Film Threat, and he has a magazine, and he's a big fan of documentaries, and he was raving about this. And the thing he said, Adam, is that it really caught the vibe and feel he felt as not being that familiar with Low Cut Connie, of what that energy of the band is, of what you are from the audience's perspective, which is hard to get.
Yeah, that's why we made this film. During the pandemic, we didn't know if we'd ever get to do this again.
Right.
I didn't know if the band would get back together. I didn't know if the audiences would be there. You never know in this business. And so when we came back from pandemic and we did those first few shows and people were weeping. I mean, there were people, we're used to people screaming and having the greatest time. But then when I saw people weeping at our shows, I said, we got to make a film right now to capture the magic energy that we have at our shows. And it turned out incredible. It's very immersive. You'll feel like you're in the room with us, sweating, going crazy at a Low Cut Connie show.
And it's reading some other people who have seen the movie. Well, here, this says, I grabbed this quote, "It's an amazing portrait of a band most people have never heard of, which is their loss. It's a story of the eternal struggle of a musician trying to stay true to the idea that in selling himself and his work, he is truly an art dealer."
Yeah, like there's a lot of music movies that have come out in the last few years, but they're all by like the tippy top 1% of pop music musicians, right? We've got Taylor Swift movie, we've got the Beyonce movie, we've got all that. I want to do something to show working class musicians out there. You know, we change our clothes in a porta potty, right, Dave?
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
Okay.
And you drive to gigs.
And we're talking about me and my band and the people that work with me. We don't do it for money. We don't do it for fame. We do it because we love it and we feel like we're called to do it.
Yes.
You know, right, Dave?
Indeed, I agree.
And so I want people to see, maybe there's a kid out there that's dreaming of a life in art and they don't know if they could do it. And maybe they'll see this film and say, you know what, we could do this. We could do this.
It's interesting because I've lately been reading a couple of biographies from musicians, of guys who have gone the distance. The most recent one I read was Michael McDonald's book, What a Fool Believes.
Oh, with Paul Reiser.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Excellent book. And then I read Geddy Lee from Rush, his recently. And, you know, obviously they take you through the evolution of the band and those struggling years and those trying to find a way, trying to make ends meet. There is a spot that is not super duper stardom, top of the heap, absolutely, where working musicians grind it out and they have their trade and they go on and they continue and they keep working, and it's hard work.
It's hard work.
And that's the thing that is most prevalent in these books is how hard. Now, it's passionate work. It's work you love and you believe in, but it's hard work. And David, you know that. I mean, God, you guys have worked so hard over the years.
I mean, last summer, we did, I think, 29 dates. Well, this summer, we just finished up about 29 dates, almost 6 weeks in Europe. And at one point, I think we did 9 shows in 10 days.
Right.
Which meant, people think, 9 shows in 10 days, but that's 10 cities.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're getting on a bus,
crazy.
you're packing. My wife, Dallin, said to me, I don't know how you do it,
Right.
and
you
get
said, and you are
conditioned to do
who?
it, but you mentally
Yeah.
have to get yourself set for it,
Yeah.
It is brutal. But you have to, you got to love it. If you're not loving it, you're not doing it.
Let me
You're not gonna get
let me
through it.
ask you this, both of you in this case, and to Preston's point. And when I did stand-up comedy and starting that process, yes, it's a lot of work and there's a lot. I don't know if this is going to happen. This is not going to happen. But when I think about the years of career and everything like that, that's in a sort of sweet spot, like that point in time where you're like, I'm trying to make this work.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my voice. I'm trying to make, and obviously I love right now. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But there is something sweet, and that's sort of Adam with Local Connie. It's at least what I'm understanding, the movie projects that.
It's romantic.
It's romantic.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're in a different city every night. I've crisscrossed this country. I've played in 48 out of 50 states. Been in, I think, 12 countries with the band. Dave has done even more. And, you see the world. You meet people that you would never, ever get a chance to talk to. You see how people live. And we go places where they don't have a lot of entertainment options, And we did shows in rural Montana and Idaho, and they're just happy we came. And, rock and roll, people have said that rock and roll is on the wane and that it's not popular anymore and there's not a place for it. It's not the case. That's another thing that I want people to see in this film. The spirit of rock and roll is alive.
Indeed.
These young kids love it. We do shows at colleges and have Gen Z kids come to these shows, and they absolutely love rock and roll.
Yeah, think about Nick, you were at the Pearl Jam concert last night, right? And I would assume that the majority of the concert goers were your contemporaries. But I know for a fact that there were teenagers there.
There were kids there.
Yeah, there were kids there.
Yeah. Singing along to the songs. I wanted to ask you guys about the intersection of art and commerce, because I think that that's a really difficult line to straddle sometimes. You want to be able to be a working musician, a working artist, but that in and of itself is a full-time job, just the selling part of it. And you can have a great product, but not necessarily have that land in front of people's eyes and ears. So how much of what you guys do nowadays is the business commerce side, Davey, and how much of it is still just the art, the creation?
Yeah, I wish I could spend more time on the art side of it, but business side takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it just, again, like I said, I play music because I love playing music, but fortunately I mentioned my wife, Dallin. She helps me a lot with a lot of stuff. We have a good manager. I look at Adam sometimes. He seems to do it all. He's got a great team, but he drives that thing. I admire those early days of getting in a van and playing. That was so hard back in the day, but now, it's like tomorrow I'm flying to Germany for a show, one show.
Yeah.
And somebody had to take care of that. I don't do that.
As I always say, it's 23 hours of BS and 1 hour of fun. So think of it this way: the show, that's the sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the part where you're like, oh, yeah. Yes. This is why I'm doing it. But if you want to be a musician, if you choose a career in art, comedy, you want to be a writer, whatever it is, you go into the arts in 2024 in America, you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to work 3 times as hard as working in another industry.
Is that
right?
Adam,
you got to plan for it.
Is that still as prevalent? I wonder about this. Because I was reading an interview with somebody who was talking about the nature of TikTok and the pursuit of this kind of fame, of social media fame. And then that now, because of the massive influx of people attempting to go that route, that it's just as difficult to become one of those stars as it would have been to become a rock star, to become a movie star, to become a TV star, because there's so many things. But are you finding, and the people you talk to, the younger people you're talking to, are they being trained to say, it didn't happen right now, so I'm not going to pursue it?
These Gen Zs are better at certain things.
Yeah.
They're better at promotion. They know how to promote themselves, get a fan base, get a following quicker than we did in my generation and Dave's generation before me.
Posters.
We didn't know how to. Yes.
Cave drawings.
Exactly. You literally, you said, hey, you want to come to my show? It's, you know, and we didn't know how to promote, but we did it for the music, and we did it because we wanted to be part of the scene. And that's one thing that I do feel like some of these Gen Z kids are telling me. They don't have that experience of just getting in a van and playing in a dive bar.
Right.
You know, there are less dive bars than there used to be. There's
Right.
less of a live music circuit than there used to be. And so they're missing that sort of pedigree. And
Do you think that would help them in the long run?
Indeed. I think
it will help them, just like stand-up comedy. You got to bomb 20 times before you hit once. If you're a band, you should go out and play 50 shows to strangers and hostile audiences and do poorly. You should bomb. You need to go through the experience of bombing in order to get better at your craft.
Yes, coming up, you'd say to people as
you guys bomb all the time. I listen to you.
I don't know how to do anything all predicated on that.
Adam knows us well.
But you would say to people, was the audience comprised mainly of friends and family who were there to see you, or were there people who were paying and didn't know you? There's a big line of delineation.
Yeah, well, my first bunch of concerts were like my bar mitzvah. It was like, oh, it's my aunt.
Yeah.
That's
and she thought I was fabulous. Oh my God! When you did that thing and you shook your behind, it was just fabulous.
But, you know, you're speaking of that, the early days of the Hooters. I remember we used to play at a place in on South Street called Grendel's Lair. The first show, I think we had maybe 30 people there. And then there was a little buzz about that. And then the next week, there were about 60 people there. And a few weeks later, there was a line down the block. So you just got to, you know, and by that time, we were playing for about a year. So we really kind of had it down.
And you were the one shaking your butt in that band, right?
I was the one. That would
They
be
were
Rob Light
so
and Eric
handsome. Those guys, the Hooters guys.
Yeah.
I watched Dave's film recently. They were so freaking handsome.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
Well, the documentary Art Dealers is it's going to be playing at the Philadelphia Film Society East. So Thursday, 7 p.m. It'll be available digitally October 1st. So keep an eye out for that. But I also want to talk about the show coming up on the 28th.
Right.
Ardmore Music Hall. And this is David's Baby in the Pocket. And this has been going on for
years.
14,
Coming up,
15 years
I think about 15 years.
Yeah.
Just about. One day when I moved back from the West Coast, Alan and I were walking through Rittenhouse Square, and I needed something to do. I was like, okay, where the Hooters were playing, but I thought, you know, Philadelphia felt different to me. I was out on the West Coast for nearly 20 years. It was a different vibe. The Phillies won the World Series. The restaurants, people were eating outside. It just felt different. And I just felt like, you know what? We were brainstorming, and I thought, hey, what about a project that we can do that we honor music that came out of Philadelphia? And there were such great bands that people really, I thought they were big outside of Philadelphia, but as I've been doing the project for 15 years, Open My Eyes, we recorded that by the Nas. Well, I knew Backstabbers was a big song, but our latest song we did was a song by Billy Harner that, I heard on the radio all the time. WFIL, Wibbage. I just assumed it was a hit everywhere, but I think it was in 4 cities. It was a song called Sally Saying Something. And, I just pay homage to the songs that made me, excited about playing music.
Yeah. Do you guys ever cover the end theme to Action News by any chance?
It's on the list,
world, my friend. Take a little bit of time. Move closer to your world, my friend, and you'll see. Yo, that's iconic.
By the way, sometimes you get robbed of the theme if there's a lot of news that day. If it's a slow news day, you get the full theme. But if it's a heavy news day, they just zip right by the lyrics.
Remember when they tried to get rid of that for a minute? And people were in revolt.
Well, I had no idea.
They replaced it with a Prodigy song called Smack My Bitch Up. It just wasn't received well.
Do the same
I
thing.
can imagine.
But David, your project, this has grown legs. It's stuck around for this long. Did you think it was going to be around? 15 years?
Not at all. And I tell you, for me, it's just a labor of love because I get to play with all these musicians that I when you're in a band, you know, Adam will tell you, and you've been in bands, it's like you become a family.
Yeah.
You circle your wagons, and they're the only guys that you see, and guys or girls, and you're a family. It was nice for me to kind of break out and work with people like Rick DeFonso and Richard Bush and Jeffrey Gaines and Ben Arnold.
Yeah.
Philadelphia staples that, will come and, record some music. Ben, working with Adam with his last track was just, and for me, I always learned something. Like he has a whole way of producing. He was a great producer, and we work with Phil Nicolo as well. And
Adam produced this?
He was co-producer on it, but he has a vision of a song.
Yeah.
And he was great. I learned something new every day with it. Yeah, it was great.
Let me ask you, Adam, because you talk about a vision of a song. Like you were just saying.
Right.
So this is your first time directing? Because you're listed as co-director for
of the
movie.
film. Yeah, I never made a film before. It was the first time.
What was that like? Did the music skills and the music producing skills port over to film easily?
Yeah, because when I put a show on, I'm all about sequencing. No dead air. Just like you guys on the radio, no dead air.
No, we don't always abide by that.
I want the audience to not notice the 2 hours goes by, right? And there's we got our trade secrets about how you keep that ball in the air. And so making a film and saying, okay, it's going to be 80 minutes and it's got to be all killer, no filler, and never have that like chill moment that people are yawning and saying, maybe I'll go to the bathroom.
Right.
And so I felt like I brought something to the table in terms of how to keep the energy and the dynamics moving.
Cool.
He did music as well on the track. Yeah, that was one thing that you had a vision from the beginning to the very end, just even the mixing process. I remember at one point we stripped everything down and we took like some effects off the drums, and it was a learning process for me. It was great.
I was watching some amateur musicians over the weekend, and they did have those lulls in between songs, and I'm like, and me for doing this, I'm like, oh my God, you guys, come on.
Well, when you see the top of somebody's head tuning a guitar,
right,
I'm out.
Yeah.
Life is too short. I got a really short attention span.
So in getting,
that'd be like you saying, "Hey, radio listeners, give me 20 seconds. I just got to go through my papers here for a second."
That happens all the time.
I will be funny in 20 seconds.
No dead air.
When you're preparing for a set for a show, do you and the band have it all marked out exactly what you're going to do? I'm not exactly what you're going to say, but that these beats are going to be taken in between these songs, or
no.
You've just done it enough.
I have a system. It's hand signals.
Okay. Sure,
like semaphore?
Yeah,
hand signals. And I got to go off the energy of the room because every day is different rooms, different people, different cultures. If you play the same song in New York versus Boise, Idaho, it's different, right?
Always. Mm-hmm.
And also you got to pay attention to what's going on with people, with the news, with the world. Are they feeling joyful? Do they want to let their hair down? Are they feeling sad? What do I need to give them on that particular night? That's going to scratch their itch. So I need to pivot in the moment, use those hand signals so I can go where the audience wants me to go.
I think both of you guys as artists, one of the things you have to learn early is that when you say it's great to be here you have to learn where you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, we've all done that, man.
Yeah.
We've all done. We did a show in Pennsylvania. There's Pottstown and Pottsville.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, you get that look from the audience, like, not sure. But
this is Ardmore. It's not Germany.
So the show and coming up on the 28th with In the Pocket, who is all going to be in the cast? Because it's a rotating cast.
Yeah, always. Yeah. I got Richard Bush from the A's. I got Greg Davis from Brew Review. John Fay from the Caulfields. Ben Arnold, Soul Survivors. Charlie Rich, Charlie Ingwe, Alexis Cunningham. It's going to be a nice cast of people. It's going to be fun.
And Adam, are you at this?
I am not, but let me tell you, if Dave's putting it together, it's going to be great.
No, absolutely.
It'll be a fun night.
Okay.
It'll be a fun night.
I have seen the In the Pocket show. It's fantastic. It's songs that people know and the few songs that people don't know. It's all Philadelphia spirit.
Yes.
And I grew up listening to the Hooters, and they were my inspiration because they were a band from Philly that made it and stayed here, which is very rare. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm trying to do.
I was drawn back, when I was in West Coast. I never felt like this. It was home. And then when I got back to Philadelphia, I was like, I made a mistake. Here's where I belong, you know?
I want to go home.
I want to come
I
home.
got nowhere to go.
Yeah, indeed.
So, David, you and the Hooters are doing a one-off show in Germany.
Yeah.
How often does that happen? I mean,
it's happened a few times, and this
Okay.
is an odd one because we're doing it's Byran Radio. So tomorrow we fly to Munich. Initially, we're supposed to fly to Switzerland and drive 3 hours to Germany. So we revolted. Said, well, that's not going to happen. So now we're going to Munich. One show on Saturday, and we fly back on Sunday.
So how do they convince you to do that? Do they put Hasselhoff on the phone or what?
He's flying with us. No, actually, I love going to Munich, any of those major cities. I mean, it's great all over this place. They have 88,000 villages and cities in Germany. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they love the Hooters. So
And when you guys get back, David, you got a couple shows at the Keswick as well.
Keswick Theater, early November. I'm sorry, but I think, is it the 1st and 2nd?
It is,
over there?
Friday and Saturday shows, November 1, November 2.
We're planning something special for those nights because it's the end of the tour, and we've been doing this a long time, and the fans have always come out, and our people, so we're really looking forward to that.
And Adam Locutt Connie's got a tour coming up as well. You guys are going out for a few dates?
Yeah, we're all over the joint.
Okay.
We're all over the country, October, November, some shows in this area in December. We're kind of always on tour.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a hard-working band. They're out doing it.
And they know the names of the towns they're in now.
I try. I try.
Good try.
Yeah.
When do you decide to write? I mean, is that happening all the time, or when the inspiration hits, or do you sit down and work at it?
Writing to me is like a little 2-year-old kid that pulls your pant leg and says, look, me,
Hey,
it's time.
Yeah.
I don't plan it. It just happens.
Okay.
And it has to demand my attention.
He's got some great songs on this latest record. When I went to see you last time, there was a song you played at the end of the set, and I'm like, whose song is that? And I was like, I forget the title of it, but it was great.
Well, Are You Gonna Run is we fell in love with that song immediately, and I listen to it all the time.
Yeah.
Beautiful song.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that's our pleasure.
Do you get very myopic when you get like in the zone? You're like, I will not eat or sleep. I'm just going to go until this is.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, I just write songs that I would want to hear.
Yeah.
And that I think my fans would want to hear. And that I can sing the words and believe what I'm saying. Because, you got to inhabit the lyrics.
So, lyrically speaking, what's the silliest song you've ever written?
I can't say the title on the air, but it's 3 S's. S, shower, and shade.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. And I used to play piano in a ballet studio for kids for 2 years.
Is that where you wrote it?
Yes, exactly. And I used to play little kids music all day. Everybody, yes, indeed. And I would go out of my brain. And while I'd be sitting there, playing piano, I'd start coming up using these little kids' melodies with the most crazy off-color songs I could think of.
That's great.
And so I wrote this song called S, Shower, and Shade.
That's great.
That was like a perverse Sesame Street song.
Oh, my God. I can't wait to hear that.
That was a saying my father uttered all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
And I guess, Dave, you guys have Pissing in the Rhine.
Of course. It's a staple of our set in Germany.
I
they
think
know it.
somebody spanking it in front of the Louvre. Try
We'll
that.
segue into
You guys
that.
can take that one. That's all you.
Nuts.
Well, we have a little kid song. It's not vulgar, but our Monday song. We had
yeah.
what was it? Making music? Case?
Oh, no, that's our Friday
That's our
song.
Friday
Yeah,
song.
yeah, the Hello Preston, Hello Steve.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
play a little bit
Friday,
of that for
sorry.
you, Adam. It'll take you back to your days.
All right.
But we play this every Friday morning before our show starts because it's just it's a ditty is what it is. But
Hello, Preston. Hello, Steve. Hello, Casey. How do you say hello?
Yeah.
Hello, Kathy. Hello, Nick. Hello, Marissa. How do you say hello?
one more verse and then we're done.
Hello, MMR. Hello to the listeners. Hello, everybody. How do you say hello?
And one last little bit.
Hello, Steve.
There it is.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Did that bring you back to a nostalgic time or a terrifying time?
It's triggering.
It's true. It's
trigger. I need to call my therapist on the way home.
Oh, man. Well, listen, if you would like to see a wonderful film about a very hardworking Philadelphia band, the documentary is called Art Dealers, and it'll be showing at the Philadelphia Film Society East, which is formerly the Ritz East.
Yep.
And it is Thursday, 7 p.m. It'll be available digitally on demand on October 1st, by the way. Dave, the documentary about you is titled what?
Heart of the Beat.
Heart of the Beat.
Heart of the Beat.
And that is available now.
Well,
isn't it?
It was made by a nonprofit organization that was, their thoughts behind it was it's being shown at viewings at colleges and places like that. I think they're working on trying to get it out there through some sort of streaming platform, but I think your colleges and
so just enroll in college, you'll see it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can also go and see Dave and the crew in the Pocket live Saturday, September 28th.
Right.
Ardmore Music Hall. Those tickets are on sale at ardmoremusichall.com. It's an 8 p.m. show. And then back with the Hooters on November 1st and 2nd at the Castle.
There'll be fun nights, absolutely. Can't
Wonderful.
wait.
Excellent.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, pals.
Wonderful to catch up with both of you. Let's give it up for David Uosikkinen and Adam Weiner. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with more Pink on the Back to School A to Z. You got it, bud.
On 93.3.
Now, of course, she lured him into church. She couldn't be with him if he wasn't baptized and wasn't Catholic. He was like, dump the water on me. I'm in.
Yeah.
And then he had this terrible accident. Had a visit from Mother Mary, and then he went to the fullest extreme and said, not only am I going to become a Catholic, I'm going to become a priest. And everybody in his life just thought he was absolutely crazy. He challenged everything about the priesthood in the seminary, got diagnosed with a rare disease, incurable disease, and then as his physicality deteriorated, his spirituality soared, and they still campaigned to have him ordained as a priest, and he touched a lot of people.
He seemed to be like leap of faith was his thing because
he'd try anything.
in the beginning, he moves to Los Angeles with nothing, no one that, checks into a hotel, I'm going to be an actor.
Yeah.
Well, he found out otherwise. And but and yet this other thing happens in his life, and yet he takes another leap, and he seems to be one of these that just trusted his instincts 100% all the way.
Yeah, it was all about intuition for him. And, it's remarkable because the things that he did in a short amount of time, really, I talked to the Archbishop who had ordained him, and he was like, I couldn't believe it, but he had so much real-life experience, and all the things that people were going through and struggling with, he had already experienced. So he knew how to kind of help them cope with that, and to see with all the adversity that he faced, he handled it with such grace and dignity. Yeah. And if we're lucky enough to get old, we're all going to face it.
Yes.
But, it's one of those things where how do you cope with that? After just losing my mom. I lost my mom during the movie.
Yeah.
And so it's remarkable. It gives me a lot of comfort. I'm getting old, losing a lot of people.
There's a very powerful scene. I won't go into it, but it apparently happened right after your mom had passed, and it seemed as if, in a way, you were channeling that emotion in this scene. It's particularly it's in the church, and you're why I'm doing all these things that you want of me, speaking to God. And how am I here? Yeah. And it seemed like, we've always, compliment you're a great actor, and in that moment, though, so visceral, and everyone's tearing up at that, because you do have those moments like, wait a second, I thought I was doing everything right, but that's not what it's about.
Yeah, no. When everything's going good, life throws you a curveball, and God is definitely at work here. It's amazing to see how people are being touched by this movie. It's coming out now at Easter during the pandemic, where everybody's been struggling.
Right.
So people from all walks of life really feel like they identify and relate to Stu in their own personal way.
Yeah, and I can as well. And so. My father was a deacon. My father passed away 8 years ago, and and he wasn't born Catholic, and he didn't convert until he met my mother, and all that stuff. And so you talk about finding the grace of God through pain and suffering, and so they had lost their first born child, and you figure something like that could. And I talked to my dad about it. They could have been like peace out, thank you, but every single time I see you, I'm reminded of our son, but it actually it drew them closer to God, which is this crazy thing that happens, and it happened to fathers too. And so you're in Philadelphia, and you're doing a press tour in Philadelphia, and I wasn't sure if you were aware of Father Bill Atkinson. So his story is very, very reminiscent of what happened with Father Stu. So Father Atkinson wrote this book called Green Bananas, and Father Atkinson was a teacher at Monsignor Bonner High School, and he was a paraplegic. he was in a terrible like sledding accident, and so he writes this book called Green Bananas, and essentially it's like don't buy green bananas because you're not promised tomorrow, right? So like you may not even be here to enjoy that yellow banana. And so this guy, I'm sure as you go through the city today, I'm sure maybe this will come up, more than one time. Yeah.
There's something, and to that point, so there were two uncles in my life. My wife's uncles were both priests, 50 years plus. They've since passed away, to Father Jim and Father Charlie. And Father Stu reminded me, there's a similar sort of thing. There's an I don't know what it is, and maybe it's if grace is brought into your life, and you're there's a way they carry themselves, and you say, oh, these, they don't know what they're talking. It's easy a lot of times to dismiss. You can't possibly connect to my situation. But I remember years ago sitting down with both of them at various points. I'm like, man, they got it. They got it. And they were able to speak comfort to me at a time when I really needed it. And you project, there's a couple of scenes in the movie, like, where you're dispensing the solace to people in trouble, and they look at you, and you're in this vegetative state, Father Stu, I should say. And you always get that, well, if he can, then maybe I can. And if this helped him, maybe it can help me. It's such a powerful message.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's important. I mean, people are really struggling right now. But having that real life experience is invaluable. When you were talking about that particular scene, I've never studied acting, but I have a lot of real life experience, the good, the bad, and I kind of utilize all of that in portraying these characters that I play and try to do it in the most authentic way. And so going through that particular moment at that particular time, but still, Stu and the way he handled it helped me, and it will continue to help me. And I just am much more optimistic about the future and accepting things that you can't change. And
learning that is a big lesson.
Yeah.
Who did you meet from the real story? I know Father Stu has passed, but anybody from his family?
Oh yeah, his dad, his siblings, his family, his best friends from the seminary, his childhood friends. He's got he's a colorful guy. Lots of really interesting friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I knew you were coming in, so when watching the film, I kind of wanted to look at the practical parts of movie making as well as taking the story in. And one of the things that I love, Mark, is, and I'm curious about you as an actor, when you're on the set and you're giving your lines and so on, it's not the same as what we see once it's edited and put together. The music in this film, the way they really added a body to it, I thought.
Yeah.
And when you watch the completed film, does that start to impact you more with those added pieces of the puzzle? You know what I mean? Than when you were there delivering those lines.
Yeah, of course. I mean, well, I'll give you a great example. I was making a movie called The Fighter, and I wanted to watch every great boxing movie ever made leading up until the start of the film. I happened to be on a plane flying to Boston. I had Rocky on.
Yeah.
Watching Rocky, all of a sudden, and every time I watch Rocky, you know what it does to you. All of a sudden, I turned off the volume, and because I was on a call, and I'm still watching, and the movie just completely didn't work.
Yeah.
Without the sound and all of the music and in the score. And so, yeah, of course. And Rosie had done a great job. I mean, I knew when I was reading the script, because all this, the scenes described the music that would be playing and the artist that she wanted to use. I was like, oh, this is going to be really expensive.
This is Rosalind Ross.
Rosalind Ross, yeah.
First-time director.
First-time
wrote
director.
the script, and you took a chance.
Yeah.
But I think you had a good, I was reading an interview with you, and you said, she wrote the words. She knew what she was seeing. What better person to translate that?
Yeah, I've definitely felt like that, because we were trying to make this movie for a while. David O. Russell and I were trying to get somebody to write the script, and I couldn't crack it, And then when she came and said she wanted to try it, I said, go ahead. And I kind of told her the story, connected her to the people, and then all of a sudden she comes back to me with a movie that I wanted to make. So I said, if she could put it on the page, she could put it on the screen.
That's wild.
Had you worked with Jackie Weaver before?
No, I hadn't. No.
She plays the mom in Silver Linings Playbook, which is obviously set here in Philly as well. And I love her. She's so compelling, and there's something about her eyes whenever you watch. Like, she just emotes so well.
She's fantastic. And I lost my mom during the making of the movie, and to kind of rely on her, she was definitely there for me in lots of ways. And if I ever needed to get emotional or anything like that, like there's a scene where I'm coming into the church and they're gonna I realized that they're actually going to ordain me, and I just looked to her, and then of course I just got super emotional, you know.
So your father in this film is Mel Gibson, and so I noticed that your relationship with him in this movie is very, very similar to Daddy's Home 2, where he plays your father in that movie as well.
Oh my God! Yeah, he was going to play my brother, but Mel obviously was Bill Long, Stu's dad, his first choice, second choice, and third choice. I've made a lot of movies about real people and especially sensitive subjects, and I've never had somebody deal with it in such a nonchalant way, the way that Bill has. I mean, he really gets a kick out of it. He doesn't really. He knows that that I'm playing Stu, but he's able to kind of detach himself from that. And so, like when he sees Mel, he just starts giggling all the time.
Well, and he made The Passion of the Christ and directed, and I assume you were able to pull on his. Expertise, because this was a smaller film than some of the other films you've made.
And of course, taking on the responsibility of financing the movie myself. He financed The Passion. He kind of did it all. So that was something I was able to take a play from his book and kind of figure out the best way to get the movie made without any kind of creative interference. Because once you bring on a financier or a studio, then everybody's got notes. I mean, they're paid to have an opinion, right? And then you kind of get into the rabbit hole. We didn't want to make a film by committee. We wanted to kind of do our own thing and then find the right partner to distribute it.
Sure. You're just tuning in. It's Mark Wahlberg is joining us in studio. Father Stu is going to be out in theaters April 13th. You guys shot this in 30 days?
30 days, yeah.
Wow.
It's like 6 years to get it done and 30 days.
It's always, yeah. You're basically in quicksand for all this time, and then all of a sudden you have to sprint to the finish line. And then it was the same thing with, we had a lot of time to edit the film, but then we had a short amount of time to release the film. So,
I'm sorry, Case.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that you were able to get it done so quickly because you work hard. And there was a nice documentary that was done about your life, and you just know that like you're just the dude who is just working from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. I also know that you take your health and your physical fitness very, very seriously. You don't do it because you have to. You do it because you want to and you love it. So, gaining 30 pounds in 6 weeks. Was that fun or did that suck?
It was the worst experience of my life. I'm still feeling the repercussions of that. It's just because it's just at my age, it's not that healthy to do.
It's a freaking nightmare.
I tried to do it in the most healthy way possible. So when people think, "Oh God, you got to gain 30 pounds," oh poor you. Like it's not like all the things you crave are on the menu. None of those things were things that I got to eat. I didn't.
The fun stuff.
I was eating, a dozen eggs with a dozen pieces of bacon, 2-3 bowls of white rice, drinking olive oil out of a glass. And then I'd have a steak. And then, right after that meal, 2 hours later, you get a knock on the door and you got to eat again. And you got to pound another meal. So from 7,000 calories a day for the first 2 weeks to then 11,000 calories for the last 4 weeks. It was terrible. And it was all like sodiums, starches, stuff to get you bloated.
Healthy. Not healthy at all.
I can't believe you guys do that. Like, because we have a friend, Rob McElhenney, did it for a role too.
It's Always Sunny.
He did it for a laugh.
He did it for a laugh.
And he said what Mark just said. It was a nightmare packing on that weight.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to lose it because then you're just, you got to be disciplined, right? Yeah. You got to be able to say no, but to pack it in when you're already stuffed, that's just the worst.
Do you know the book or the movie called Diary of a City Priest? It's based on a guy named Father John McNamee, and it was set here in Philadelphia as well. It's sort of like what Casey was bringing up. And the movie was starring David Morse. And when watching Father Stu, it sort of reminded me of these people that find ways to do good for people who really need it, who need to find some salvation and don't know where else to turn. So if you like doing this role with Father Stu, I highly recommend Diary of a City Priest.
Yeah, I definitely check that out. I'm a big fan of Dave Morris too. But it's one of those things where Stu, like, he was so effective, especially like in his prison ministry. When he would go and talk to the inmates, because he was one of those guys.
Yeah.
So he could just tell them how it was. And we all know people who have made bad decisions, and if they feel like
Casey had posed a question earlier this morning off air. And he had said, what if just the Preston and Steve show played the A to Z, like only our shift? How long would that take? Because we're always guessing as to when the back school A to Z is going to end up and when it's going to wrap. And it's a couple of weeks long. And so we play, I don't know, maybe 6 songs total throughout the course of the whole morning.
I would say 6 max.
Yeah,
is what we play.
Think of them as, for us, bathroom breaks. That's what they are.
Yep.
So what did the math come out to?
Casey said it would take right at about a year.
No, it would take over a year.
It would take over a year?
Yeah, because we don't work every single day. We're off on Saturdays and Sundays.
Right.
We take vacation days and stuff like that. So it would take, I would say, no less than 588 days to complete it.
588.
And then you have to do that over the course of actual work days and work years.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
that
think it would
makes
take
sense.
us. I think it would take us maybe 2 years.
To my
2
ears,
years?
two. And where are those pictures I was supposed to see? To my ears, and I have 2 of them, I'm hearing, and I love this when we do this.
Yeah.
I'm hearing stuff that I have not ever heard.
Another A to Z's?
And I think it's the most robust A to Z we've ever had. Now, maybe that's just my perception of it, but it's...
You might be catching it at times you haven't before. That's what's great about it.
And I
Because
get that, yeah.
We have it start at different times each year, so then that if you have a regular listening habit, maybe you'll hear something different.
Right.
That rolls around. But yeah, I'm loving it. There's been some great songs so far. I was wondering if we would be able to do just segments from our show in A to Z. If you'd have to, like each segment would have to have a word that associated with a particular
topic,
letter, topic, or something that came from it.
How much audio? I don't know why now I'm thinking about this now that you brought this up. Collectively, how much audio has the Preston and Steve show generated? Since we were the Preston and Steve show. It used to be the Preston, Maryland and Steve show. We just take it in the...
If you went back, at least, which is, it's over 25 years now. I don't know. My head hurts. I don't want to do that. It would be, I don't know, man.
We should put Dan Colachico on it, PrestonandSteveRock.com.
Let's average, because the shows didn't used to be as long as they are now. So let's average over the course of 25 years, 3.5 hours of content every day, right? Including talk breaks.
Are you talking about like without music included, without commercials included, and all that stuff?
I think our podcast ends up about that, like three and a half hours or whatever, right?
3 hours, yeah.
Yeah. Let's go 5 hours a week. I'm sorry, 5 days a week, 3.5 hours a day, 50 weeks a year.
So about 17 and a half hours a week.
Toss in some vacation time.
Now, are we doing kilometers or miles?
Okay. We're getting to the metric system.
Celsius.
Okay.
Kilograms. 21,875 hours.
How many?
21,875 hours.
And then we divide that by 24.
That's the number of hours over the 25 years, over the 24 years.
So how many?
I know, but how many years would that equate out to?
I got you.
You know what I mean? In total of hours.
It would be 7.
I know that 525,600 minutes is how many there are in a year. But I don't know how many hours are in a year. You know what I mean?
How many Preston and Steve shows make us so happy? How many fart jokes will they deliver in a year?
8,760 hours in a year.
If you're talking squishy farts, or you're talking little burps.
So if you divide that 27,000, wait.
That's over 3 years straight of audio.
Right.
Of like nonstop audio.
Right.
I thought it'd be more. I'm not impressed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. 3 hours of nonstop? 3 years of nonstop audio.
All right.
Nonstop.
Maybe this can help put it in perspective for me. Okay. If you were to lay the world supply of M&Ms out in a row,
yes,
how long would that be?
I don't.
Would that be more than 3 years?
Sometimes I get caught up in these questions and I hate the crap out of them. Like the question about are there more doors or more wheels in this world? And then I find myself debating it no matter how much
With
I
yourself? Because
just in general. My son asked me about the wheels and doors thing, which is an old question. But
Did you think he was coming to you for the sex talk?
He said the grains of sand in the world versus the stars in the universe.
Right.
That's one that tweaks my melon. And I think it's stars in the universe is the answer that there are more of.
On Friday, it marks my 20th year with the show. This Friday, so September 13th,
Really?
2004 was my first show on Preston Steve, and I remember it because it was 2 days after 9/11, and I was like, what are we going to do on that day back or whatever? But yeah, Monday, September 13th, 2004 was my first show. Kathy had been on the show for about a year at that point.
Yeah.
And then in less than a year, we were here at MMR. We started at MMR in May of 2005.
It's crazy.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
It's crazy.
Cray.
I was still doing vaudeville when I started the show.
Yeah, that's right.
I was a baggy pants comic.
I remember that act. Yeah.
Who put Cecil in my pants?
Yeah. That was a good one. You had something going there.
Did you take a bath this morning, Steve? Why? Is one missing?
Wow. Well, anyhow, I don't know if an A to Z would work for us. or not. But,
Well, right now in this iteration, I'm loving the crap out of it.
yeah. Was there something else we wanted to bring up?
Yes, Pearl Jam.
Oh, yeah. We want to replay that audio. We want to make sure that we get enough out of it.
Can't suck it up enough.
Yeah. Eddie Vedder mentioned 3 staff members again last night of Beasley Media on stage. He said he
First, before we introduce some special people, I wanted to ask you, are there more doors or wheels?
Well, just think about that for a little while.
Wrap your mind around that. That's what made Jeremy crazy. He was bad as crazy.
No, this is a clip from last night's show. Here we go.
I put those things to use. This one dedicated tonight to Pierre, Nick, and Matt.
Wow.
So, Nick, what is the level of frequency? Because there, obviously, I know we've talked about the sort of loosening and relaxing of the band and Eddie over the years. It's a natural process, but is that common for him to do?
I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah.
like he sent out "Just Breathe" to some recently married people last night, or people that have been married for a while. So it does happen, and it certainly happens more now than it used to. I mean, they were really insular and didn't engage too much, and they kind of were shy for the first decade of the existence of the band.
I haven't seen Pearl Jam in years. Are they now kind of the Eddie Vedder show?
No, it's a whole band. And Josh Klinghoffer in the back, like he's doing something. You're watching McCready, you're watching Stone. I was definitely watching Matt Cameron last night. That guy tears it up on the drums. So could Pearl Jam exist?
I know they're great musicians.
Could Pearl Jam exist without Eddie Vedder? No. Could Pearl Jam exist without other members of the band? Probably. But they are a collective, and what each person does, and then when they play together, watching Stone trade riffs with Jeff Amen, and to me, it's a real complete band.
Chuck D'Amico, program director extraordinaire, here said that this Pearl Jam show was one of the absolute best he's ever seen.
Yeah, he said it was the best he's seen.
Yeah, and Pearl Jam themselves said that the Philly shows were the best that they've had on this tour, and Eddie said that Saturday Night Show was the best show maybe they've ever done in North America.
There's a guy in the audience tonight with an incredibly hairy back. It looks like some sort of Amazonian forest. I would not be half surprised if a toucan flew out of his back. Chuck D'Amico.
Yeah, Chuck.
I just want to say that again. Eddie said that Saturday Night Show was the best show they may have ever done in North America.
Wow.
And so Pierre and I asked Stone Gossard, we got to chat with him a little bit before the show last night. Pierre said, listen, this doesn't have to be on the record. I'm really curious. You guys say that you love playing in Philadelphia, but you just played MSG this week. You just played Madison Square Garden. Compare and contrast the two. And he's like, Saturday night of the Philly show was the loudest show we may have ever played. So these
Love
guys,
to hear that.
These guys have a relationship with the city. The city definitely has a relationship with the band, and it's a real genuine one.
All right. Love it, man.
What was the loudest concert you were ever at? Where you, because sometimes you're in stadiums, and it happened in sporting events, where you kind of look around and go, is it just me, or is this insanely loud?
Too much.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a very good question.
I know which one it was for me.
What was it?
Foo Fighters and the Chili Peppers in Camden. The Foos opened for the Chili Peppers. I think it was like 2000, 2001, something like that. And it was my ears were ringing for days afterwards. It was so freaking loud.
Surprisingly, mine was Mariah Carey at the Met.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Was the mix super loud?
I think so. I don't necessarily
That
think it
is
was
a
a rocking concert, but like I might have been like right next to the monitor or something. But I basically had to like cover my left ear.
Wow.
For the whole show.
I remember one, and it's kind of along the lines of Casey's. Like really?
Yeah.
It was at Six Flags, and I was a kid, and I used to be able to. It was called the Old Glory Theater, and if you got there early enough, you could just grab whatever seat you wanted. It was open sitting, so we would go like 2 hours early.
Yeah.
So we could sit right down front. And Chicago played.
Wow.
And when those horns, horns hit, I mean, it was like punching you in the face.
Yeah.
It was these big, like horn kicks just boom, blaring.
How
And I
far
remember
were
that.
you from the stage?
Oh, we were front row.
Front row.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it was really, really loud. I just remember that.
I think I'll always remember this. Bruno Mars was the loudest show I have ever seen.
Wow. I remember you saying that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So loud. And not just, they had pyrotechnics, and every time it blasted off, you crapped your pants. Like everyone was, it would do that, but it wasn't just that. It was the music too. And I had the earplugs at the time. I since lost them in Imagine Dragons. I'm so upset. But I had to wear them the entire time.
The biggest booms I've ever heard was at Monday Night Raw at wrestling. The pyrotechnics they would set off just
crazy.
scared the living hell out of me every time.
To feel heat from
No, they didn't because they were just like flashes. They didn't come with big, flames or anything like that.
The Sixers setup with the flames.
Yeah, you can feel that.
You can feel those efforts, man.
Across the arena. you can
Across
feel
the
them.
yeah.
All right. Well, anyhow, it was very cool of Ed to give those mentions last night, and we very much appreciate it. I'll play them again in Music News coming up. All right, let's do the Bizarre File. Here we go.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Anheuser-Busch. Join Casey Boy Thursday night, 7 to 9 p.m. for the Bud Light Thursday night kickoff. It's back. Ryan's Pub in Westchester. And you can enter for your chance to win a pair of Eagles tickets courtesy of Bud Light. Well, a Baltimore man who pointed a loaded gun at a coach during an argument about his son's playing time at a youth basketball game received 8 years in prison on Wednesday at his sentencing in federal court.
Yeah, that sounds illegal.
Yeah, Troy Spencer previously pleaded guilty to gun charges in connection with the confrontation at Leith Walk Elementary Middle School, where he pulled a gun on one of his son's coaches during a basketball game, causing a panic in the school's gymnasium.
I'm just invested in my son.
Judge Julie Rubin said a lengthy prison term was necessary to protect the public from Spencer and deter others from bringing guns into sensitive public spaces. She said the fact that you would go to your boy's elementary school with a loaded semi-automatic weapon is just terrifying. Spencer's son was in 5th grade at the time of the incident.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I guess there's some people don't see why that could be a problem.
Spencer confronted the coaches because he was unhappy about his son's playing time. I
think I'm going to have to shoot you. He's not playing enough.
As the verbal argument escalated, Spencer pulled a Taurus G2C 9mm semi-automatic handgun from his waistband and pointed it at the coach.
Sir, your passion is very inspiring, and I will put your son in longer.
The sight of the weapon caused a panic as young basketball players and their families fled the gym.
Your threat to blow my head off has really turned my opinion on this.
The volunteer coaches managed to wrestle the gun away from Spencer, who fled in a vehicle and was arrested a week later. The gun was loaded with 7 rounds of 9mm ammunition. So he's going to jail for
when you get into jail, what are you going to say? Because you're probably in there with hardened criminals who have actually done stuff.
Yep, 8 years.
Yeah.
All right, here is another criminal follow-up story. Xavier Michael Babudar, known online as Chiefs-aholic, a Kansas City Chiefs superfan. You remember this story?
Yeah.
Well, he's been sentenced to 17 and a half years in prison for a series of bank robberies across 7 states.
Babudar.
The 30-year-old was ordered to pay over $500,000 in restitution and forfeit assets, including an autographed painting of Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Babudar, who committed the crimes while portraying himself as a social media celebrity, stole nearly $850,000 in 11 robberies. The U.S. Attorney, Therese Moore, said in a statement that his robbery spree bankrolled the expensive tickets and traveled across the country to attend Kansas City Chiefs games when he generated a large fan base online. However, the bank and credit union employee whom he terrorized at gunpoint suffered the brunt of his true nature. He pleaded guilty to charges including money laundering, transporting stolen property, and bank robbery as well. Police in Orlando arrested a man wearing an ankle monitor who allegedly tried to kidnap a woman in a Walmart parking lot.
Orlando.
Officers responded to a Walmart for an armed robbery and attempted kidnapping. Police said the suspect, 54-year-old Juan Perez, was pacing the parking lot before approaching the victim. Perez pulled out a knife, held it to the woman's throat before forcing her into the trunk of her car. The victim tried to fight back. Police said a bystander intervened and Perez ran away. The witness later told cops she saw the victim's, quote, legs flailing out of the trunk.
Oh, jeez.
And Perez trying to push her in.
Oh, my God. And he's wearing his ankle.
Yeah. The witness stopped her car and got out to see if the woman needed help, and that's when Perez reportedly ran off. Cops identified him as soon as a possible suspect and learned he's a registered sex offender with a previous conviction for kidnapping and was also on parole. His parole officer positively identified him as a suspect via a surveillance camera. And the officer told cops Perez was wearing a GPS ankle monitor, and data from that monitor showed that he was at the Walmart at the time of the armed robbery and the kidnapping.
So there's some versions of these things that are simply for locating Because I would think you're not supposed to go outside a certain range from your house. Or
There's house arrest, but then there's also another way to monitor basically your location.
Don't kidnap people.
And sometimes I think your alcohol consumption too. Not 100% sure about that, but
you have to breathe into your ankle.
An Arizona resident has described the moment they realized that they had been living for over 25 years with something entirely unexpected lodged up their nose. It had started,
another one?
Yeah, like another. Yeah, this wasn't a roach, though, and this was in his nose for 25 years. Yeah. It had started like any other normal day for Andy Norton. Every morning starts with a shower and a big blow of the nose. Andy said, my whole life I've had sinus sensitivity, allergies, and issues with congestion since I'm allergic to cats, dogs, grass, many other native trees and dust. I thought I was always exposed to one or more of these things, and I lived my life assuming my congestion issues were caused by allergies. Well, he had always been susceptible to sinus infections and decided to speak to a doctor. She was the one that recommended blowing your nose in a warm, humid environment.
Okay.
So he had been doing that for the past 8 months as he got out of the shower. And he did it one day, and something really hard flew out of the nose and hit the shower floor. It was only then that he picked it up and realized what it was. Norton said it was a piece of Lego.
What?
And suddenly, the memory, he said, something I had completely forgotten about in my adult life came flooding back to me. At a time around 1998, Norton said, I'm not entirely sure what possessed me to do this, but I evidently thought putting a dot brick into my nose was a good place for it.
You're an idiot.
Having realized the piece was stuck, he said, I came up with the brilliant idea of making a Lego Man minifigure and using him to put it into my nose to connect the dot piece to its head like a hat and then pull it out of my nose.
So he was kind of like doing his version of a nasal ship in the bottle?
Yeah, unfortunately, well, he was just trying to get it out.
Oh, trying to get it out.
Unfortunately, the head got stuck in my nose too, and only the body came out. Well, he admitted defeat and went to confess it to his parents. He said, I remember my mom tilting my head back, taking tweezers in my nose, and popped the head out. I got rightfully scolded for it and never stuck anything up there again. No other pieces were visible up his nose when his mom looked, and he said we never thought to follow up on the situation, any medical staff. So that little dot was still in there, and he did not know it.
And it was so far recessed that they couldn't see it.
Yep, so it remained there for 25 years.
All I did was get out of the shower.
He said, yeah, so he got out of the shower, he blew his nose, and he said he noticed a difference from the very moment that the piece flew out. He said, honestly, it felt like a plug came out, and I had a great rush of relief. I am able to take a deep breath through my nose without feeling restricted, which is something I've never been able to do.
But the story goes on because there's a tightness in his rectum, and he's missing a G.I. Joe.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
That is what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right, to mention again about Tattoos Day, Floating World Tattoo and Piercing on South Street. You can check out their artwork at floatingworldtattoos.com, or you can see them on Instagram. $350 gift certificate is up for grabs. All you have to do is text the word tattoo to 39333, and you'll be in the running for it, and it's got to be a Preston and Steve Show themed tattoo. So do that now. We'll get a winner in just a little bit. Trash and music news coming up as well. Stay put.
Then what are they going to live for? You know, we have to remind people that we're not going to give up on them. Nobody's beyond redemption. You see the good in people, and accepting people for who they are. So
it's so important. Yeah, that's what Christmas Carol is my favorite book of all time because of that. You have someone who is, well, everyone's deemed beyond help. This guy's gone, and he does have redemption. And sometimes you just need someone to extend a hand and say, okay, we're going to work on this. And that's what this whole movie is about. I love that he has almost a false, not a completely false start, Father Stu, to his embracing of becoming a priest. But it all becomes clear, as I said before, when he has another step in it, this disease that he gets that really, what does it really come down to? And it seems to me that you in your life have gone through, you've hit that point where you are all in now. Was that a hard process, or did you have a kind of a switch flick moment as Father Stu had?
No, I mean, I've always been, ever since a young age when I started refocusing on my faith, good things started happening for me. I'm a guy who's super disciplined and routine, and I've got a lot of gratitude. I'm like, okay, if this is working, I'm sticking with this. I'm not going to veer off of the plan at all. And then I realized, of course, all these things are happening for a reason. I'm being put in this position for a reason. The story's coming to me for a reason. And so to be able to then focus on doing the greater good and figuring out what my purpose is and how I utilize all the talents that I have and the position that I'm in to do something great and help people and inspire people to do more. And that's why I'm hearing now all these great stories. I can imagine if this movie works, I really want to focus on doing a lot more faith-based content, things that'll bring people together. Hopefully people will come to me with great stories. Young filmmakers will come with their ideas, and I'll be able to help them make their movies and get these kind of projects out there.
It helps people.
And also doing more things just behind the scenes without going and talking about it. Because, the left hand's not supposed to know what the right hand's doing. Right. We're supposed to be doing things out of the goodness of our heart, not for a pat on the back. But it's also, it's important to have the conversation, especially in this day and age when there's so much focus and emphasis on negativity and people being so judgmental without really, and we all have our own stuff. We all have our own issues, and it'd be a shame for somebody to go and affect somebody else's life knowing they have stuff. I mean, that's a bad situation.
Yeah, the inclination just to dismiss people in their entirety it's got to change. It's how I think that's how we all heal when we start to do what you just said.
Yeah. Casey mentioned your work ethic and how busy you are. Do you ever take breaks? You ever go on a little downtime?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's golf. It's golf, right?
But golf. I mean, I get that. I get that time every day. I wake up with my prayer routine and reading scripture, and then I kind of work out. And then if I'm lucky, I wake the kids up, I'll go play golf in 2 hours or less. I have that time to myself, and then I kind of work for the rest of the day. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the summer after I finish a movie in July and go up to our lake house in Gaza Ranch and play golf and hang out with the kids. And
you're my kind of golfer, by the way. I'm like a Sunday morning, crack of dawn.
Yeah,
little under 2 hours, I can play 18 holes.
Yeah,
Love
you got too much stuff to do. I mean,
You do a lot of praying on the course, I assume, right?
Please God, go in. Please God, go.
Yeah, it's funny because my wife was just give me an earful. She was like, Brendan, my youngest son now is playing golf too, which is the greatest thing ever.
Totally.
And it annoys my wife so much because now she can never say no to me going to play because both of my sons are playing.
Bonding time.
So he's like, Mom, Dad even rushes on the golf course. And she's like, you know how bad that is? You're rushing on the golf course. I said, whoa. I said, do you know why I rush on the golf course? She's like, no, why? I said, because you call me every 10 minutes going, where are you? Why are you taking so long? Get home. So I purposely stopped playing in the middle of the day with my friends and playing the 4-hour golf round.
Right.
And I started playing first thing, crack of dawn, like a crazy person for you. It's only for you.
Mark, there are certain scenes in certain movies that will just always bring a smile to my face. And there's a scene in Ted 2 where you guys are doing the Law and Order theme, and they started. Yes, and
hey, you lawyer guy.
They were advertising Law and Order: The Return during the Super Bowl this year pretty heavily, and I could not hear your voice and Seth MacFarlane's voice every time the spot came on. So I just want to thank you publicly for doing that scene.
Wow, thank you.
Well, I got to put in for the stripper name. When you run the stripper names, it's a perennial. My wife and I, that's a perennial. So
Well, there's a lot we could thank you for, but you do have to get going. So we're just going to remind people that Father Stew is in theaters April 13th. It's a great film. And if you get a chance, please go see it. And it's great to have you here in person. Thanks for stopping by,
likewise.
man.
It's nice to actually get into the studio again, see people one-on-one, face-to-face. I mean, this pandemic has been tough on everybody. So
I hear you, man.
Well, the movie came at the right time.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Mark Wahlberg.
Can't understand the words. Can you understand them?
Yeah, the mix is.
I heard something about Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. I can give you the Well, I mean, it's accurate to Nicki Minaj. I mean,
seriously. I heard Iceworks.
Wait a minute. No, that's from Star Wars. I hear a character from one of the movies. What is it?
I know what you're talking about
It's
now.
the dude with the butt face, the vagina face.
Oh, yeah. In the cantina.
Oh, yeah. In the cantina.
You'll be dead.
What?
Your face looks like a vagina.
I'll be careful.
A vagina.
What?
A woman's vagina. That's what your face looks like.
Oh.
Kathy, you've never seen the vagina?
Your face looks like a woman's vagina, is what I'm attempting to say. On this planet, it's probably the norm, but where I come from, we would be sexually aroused by your face. You understand? I'll forget it.
It's Alec Guinness's birthday today.
On my planet, we would say face effing, but we could do that with you. I'll forget it.
He doesn't understand. And welcome back from the weekend. Yesterday was just wonderful and didn't even rain as much as I thought it was going to.
So I've learned that even if they say it's going to rain, I don't know, it's been breaking in our favor lately the last couple times. So, it was wonderful. How energizing is that when you step out and it's like that?
We went out, my daughter and son and I went out and hit a couple of parks. We went to Valley Forge, we went to the Audubon Society's sanctuary. And walked around outside for a while. And we were taking in the smells. Like when you get out into the areas, into the woods and so on, and you get these scents. It's just great, man. Makes you feel good.
It's funny you should say that because I said, warm weather has, and obviously there are reasons. There's obvious reasons. Things are warming up and you're getting that smell. But the second you step outside, you're like, it just smells like spring. Yeah. It smells good.
It's just so inviting.
Preston, are you enjoying nature? It's so nice, isn't it? Your walks with your family will be remembered forever. Yeah. Please drink it in.
And I posted this on Instagram yesterday. We found a used Trojan condom. Right by one of the cannons.
Do you think it was a Civil War condom?
I think it was, and that's why we left it. We felt that maybe it was important to leave that piece of history right there where it was. Yeah. Plus, we didn't want to touch it because there might have been some kind of who knows what, and I didn't have any gloves or anything.
Yeah. Well, that could have been Lincoln's condom.
It could have been. Well, maybe Washington. Yeah, you never know. It was made out of wood.
Oh, my God.
Well, it was stuffed with wood.
It was a wood rubber. No.
My dearest wife. Sex has become so painful since I started using those wooden condoms. Sorry about the splinters last night.
But anyhow, getting outside, oh man, it was something else. After surviving an overdose, a woman returns to her childhood home to confront her personal demons, but instead discovers a real one in Matriarch. Here star Kate Dickie explains who her character is.
Is not what she appears on the surface.
Slightly Scottish, you think?
Possibly, I'm not sure.
She has a whole different agenda going on as well. But it unfolds into something that you're maybe not quite expecting.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's one of the thickest I've ever heard.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can we play that again?
Instead of two, she says tay.
Yeah.
Is not what she appears on the surface. And she has a whole different agenda going on as well. But it unfolds into something that you're maybe not quite expecting.
Yeah,
I love a hardcore Scottish accent.
And that is hardcore.
That is thick.
Though I'll have to see the movie and see, because a lot of times, as amazing as it is, someone with an accent that thick can peel it back, and you wouldn't know.
So Matriarch is out on Hulu now.
Where are you from?
Is not what she appears on the surface. And she has a whole different agenda going on as well. But it unfolds into something that you're maybe not quite expecting.
It's like a Simpsons character.
I know. Totally.
Holy crap.
Groundskeeper Willie.
All right, next clip. Here we go. In Ticket to Paradise, a divorced couple teams up to stop their daughter from making the same mistake they think they made 25 years ago. And then this clip star George Clooney explains why he and co-star Julia Roberts never dated.
Is not what she appears on the surface. And she has a whole different agenda going on as well.
Before we do the bizarre file, I should play that piece of audio.
Okay. It's real short.
It's very, very quick. It's not an audio illusion or anything like that. But we don't know where this is. Graduation ceremony. It looks like a college graduation ceremony.
It was college graduation.
And, as you walk up, this is your moment. This is your family is there. It's your time with the great. Dick Dale on that song, and it is Pipeline. It's the classic. So
I love that.
I like the instrumentals that do pop up from time to time. Back to School A to Z.
I love Dick Dale, but I hear he's actually a dick.
A dick, yeah. That's what I heard too.
Pretty sure he's dead.
We're in the P's. Well, he probably died a dick. I don't know.
Yeah, he definitely died a dick.
We are in the P's, and the P's go on for quite a while. At this point, PI, so you can tell that we have a number of songs to get to before we'll finish out that category. I have a lesson question, and did we find out, is he alive?
He's dead.
He's dead, okay.
Still a dick. I take that back, but I still believe he's probably a dick.
Rest in peace. All right, let's see if we can get an answer to this lesson question. We're going to give away as a prize. Pair of tickets is MMR Rocks Kings of Leon. They're playing Monday, September 23rd at the Man. And the question we will go with is, man. All right. Surprisingly, the now late, great James Earl Jones was also cast as the lead for which romantic teen comedy from the early 2000s?
You'll never guess it.
215-263-WMMR. Steve is right. So don't guess it. Only call if you actually heard it and know the answer. Surprisingly, the now late, great James Earl Jones was also cast as the lead for which romantic teen comedy from the early 2000s? Call and we'll do the trash fire calling in.
This is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you by Horizon. Your HVAC system is working hard to keep your home comfortable as temperatures begin to drop and nights get colder. So book your expert heater tune-up today with Horizon Services. Horizon Services. Help is on the way. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, Travis, Kelsey, and Taylor Swift were guests at a New York City wedding Saturday night. A gauntlet of paparazzi blasted the obvious question to the couple as they arrived. Does Travis's mustache smell like Taylor?
Oh.
Ow. Angelina Jolie's son, Pax, not only recently crashed his e-bike, but he crashed his Tesla just a month ago. Concerned father Brad Pitt says maybe Pax would be better able to balance himself if he had the weight of an additional last name. And finally, Orlando Bloom says he lost 52 pounds in 3 months in order to play a boxer in the movie The Cut. Bloom says he was taking in so little food that one time he actually crapped an IOU. And that's a Hollywood Trash.
All right, we're looking for the answer. Surprisingly, the now late, great James Earl Jones was also cast as the lead for which romantic teen comedy in the early 2000s. And we will go to Jen. Hi, Jen, you're on the air.
Hi. He was cast in The Princess Diaries.
Princess Diaries. Well done, Jen. Done. Hang on a second, Jen. We're going to give you a pair of tickets as MMR Rocks the Kings of Leon. Can we please have fun tour Monday, September 23rd? That's at the Man. Special guest will be Fantagram. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster. Go to WMMR.com and you get your chance to win some pit tickets there.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
A few stories to share with everyone sharing their opinions about the new incarnation of Linkin Park. Chester Bennington's son has weighed in, and he's not a fan. In an Instagram story post yesterday, Jamie Bennington said that Mike Shinoda had, quote, quietly erased my father's life and legacy in real time during International Suicide Prevention Month.
Wow.
Now, look, I understand this is your dad.
Yes.
And you are obviously concerned about that, but I don't think it's disrespectful to carry on and have another band member at all. Jamie wrote several long paragraphs about the relaunch of the band and included new vocalist Emily Armstrong in his comments referring to her ties to the Church of Scientology and her former support of Danny Masterson. He didn't leave much doubt that he thinks the new version of his dad's band is a horrible idea. But
so he's on the fence.
No, he's pretty. He's got it figured out. But anyhow,
that sucks.
Jack White and Meg White have reunited, but not to play. They have signed on a lawsuit against the Trump campaign on Monday for using their iconic song Seven Nation Army in a video that was posted on social media. They accused the Republican nominee of copyright infringement in a new suit filed in the Southern District of New York on Monday. The dispute actually began in August when a Trump communications staffer posted a video of the former president boarding a jet on the campaign trail set to the opening bass line. White wrote on an Instagram post with a clip of the video saying, "Oh, don't even think about using my music, you fascist. Lawsuit coming from my lawyers about this to add to your 5,000 others." He had previously used the song in a video during his 2016 campaign, which also caught the ire of the band. They had written a statement at the time saying the White Stripes would like to unequivocally state that they have nothing whatsoever to do with this video. They are disgusted by this association and by the illegal use of this song. Trump is also facing a lawsuit from the estate, which we formerly reported on, of soul and funk legend Isaac Hayes, who obtained an injunction against the campaign for using the song Hold On, I'm Coming. Hayes penned that song for Sam and Dave in 1966. A judge granted the Hayes estate an emergency injunction and later ordered the campaign to stop using the classic at campaign events. But I don't know if they've adhered to that or not. This I didn't know about. Patty Scialfa is opening up for the first time about her 6-year journey with multiple myeloma.
Didn't know that?
Yeah, the longtime E Street Band member was diagnosed with the blood cancer in 2018 and has since faced difficulties performing. She reveals in a new documentary called Road Diary, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. She's 71 years old at this point. Road Diary, which premiered on Sunday at the Toronto International Film Festival, follows Bruce and his band members as they prepare and eventually embark upon the first tour since 2017, which remains ongoing. She said, in 2018, Bruce and I were doing a play on Broadway. I was diagnosed with early stage multiple myeloma. She explained that while the illness has forced her to take caution with the things she decides to do, it hasn't put a damper on her love of performing. She said, this affects my immune system, so I just have to be careful what I choose to do and where I choose to go. Every once in a while, I come to a show or two, and I can sing a few songs on stage, and that's been a treat. That's the new normal for me right now, and I'm okay with that. And I believe when he played here, she was not
part of the show?
Part of the band, yeah.
Oh, man.
The documentary marks the first time Scialfa has publicly addressed her diagnosis of multiple myeloma, a cancer of plasma cells which are found in the bone marrow and are an important part of the immune system. Road Diary features interviews with more than a dozen E Street Band members, including the late Clarence Clemens and Danny Federici. The film, directed by Tom Zimney, offers fans an intimate peek into the hard work and sincere camaraderie that went into putting on their tour. It will hit Hulu and Disney Plus on October 25th.
My dad has multiple myeloma, and it's, like you said, Preston, a blood cancer, but it likely won't kill him. The thing about it is that it has to be monitored, and it can come back, and like you might need chemo or cancer treatments at some point.
What are the life restrictions that would be involved with having this?
I mean, it can be exhausting, like any cancer treatment would be, right? Because you have to get the poison injected into your body in order to treat it. So I could see why it would certainly impact her ability to tour or play with the band. But his health comes and goes and has good days and bad days or whatever. But in all likelihood, his oncologist says that's not what's going to kill him. He'll have multiple myeloma for the rest of his life.
Okay.
I would imagine that the biggest threat to his life is the Manson family finding him again.
They've been looking for years.
Yeah. They've been looking, and he got out.
Yeah, he did get out.
He knew what was wrong.
Right. He told Squeaky I'm out.
Listen, I don't tell Charlie or Tex, but this is crazy.
See your dad sweating bullets every time they're up for parole. Oh, my God.
I just can't believe that it took 40 years or 45 years of my life before I realized that my dad went camping with the Manson family.
He did go camping, though, and that's
he was
linear to you.
He was spending time outside, Steve. The great outdoors in
Listen,
California.
I'll bet it was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, they lived a pretty cool,
Dad, what are these
nomadic
pictures from the Spawn movie ranch
lifestyle.
But that's Steve. That's where it was. It was, it was above the hills in Malibu or whatever. And he said it was absolutely gorgeous. But turns out also the Manson family was there.
I love that. Kathy's real mother is Janis Joplin.
That's right, yeah.
We need to dive into our past. Our past is not nearly as cool as those two. We got to find something out. All right, so you wouldn't go to a literature and arts festival expecting to hear rock news, but no one told Colin Greenwood, the bassist for Radiohead, was at the festival to talk about his upcoming photography book, How to Disappear, and mentioned that the band got back together recently to play. But you didn't miss a reunion tour. News about that. Greenwood said, we did some rehearsals about 2 months ago in London just to play the old songs. Don't get your hopes up that it could lead to more since everyone in the band is busy with different projects these days, but they did get together and jam. And then one last story. It's been 16 years since The Cure has released new music, but they may be about to reset that counter. The band,
a huge Cure fan,
swapped out its previous profile picture on social media platforms with one showing a new band logo with an all-black background. Now, that may sound like a lot of fuss in the comments section over nothing, but guitarist Reeves Gabriels has also shared a link to the band's redesigned website and encouraged anyone to sign up to the mailing list, and then posted lyrics from a new song called Alone. So there might be something on the horizon after all, which would be so very cool.
It's weird because one of my favorite Cure albums is the album All Mixed Up, which is just their own remixes of great songs that they've done, you know. But I love that band. And don't forget, we're going to have to hold Robert Irvine. He was on the show yesterday.
Yes.
To showing up at the Camp Out for Hunger as Robert Smith.
Caroline is just discovering The Cure.
Oh.
Which is great because I can say, allow me to assist you.
Yes.
All right, and then one last thing. This happened at the Pearl Jam show last night. We've talked about it a couple times, but it's music news, so we'll do it one more time. Here we go.
I put those things to use. This one dedicated tonight to Pierre, Nick, and Matt.
So cool. Sending a song out to Pierre, Nick, and Matt.
And Nick's story is a story of triumph and courage. Of course, his father was in the Manson family. He could have gone that path and become a crazy serial killer, but decided that he would enter broadcasting.
I wonder what a conversation between my dad and Eddie Vedder would be like.
Oh, my
It
God.
would never end.
And he's fixated, rightfully so, on Tony Danza. He seemed to be very concerned with Tony Danza's whereabouts.
How about the raisins and the meatballs? Does that do anything
That's
for you?
good.
Yeah, okay.
That's really good. Steve, I understand, a co-worker of Nick's, really likes those meatballs.
Yeah, you really have raisins.
That's right. You like Betsy's cooking, Ed?
Very much so. Nick informed me, and I did not know this, that when a bird turns its head, it's listening for worms.
Fun fact.
Ed can turn anything into on-stage band.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. All right, that's the last item in music news. So we will therefore take another break, and we'll come back with our last song from the letter P in the Back to School A to Z, which, by the way, is brought to you by A&T Subaru and A&T Chevrolet in Sellersville. We'll also get our winner for Tattoo Tuesday. So if you haven't done it yet, text the word tattoo to 39333. You might be the one that wins. We'll be right back. Get your name said with the thousands of people in attendance. You walk across the stage, you grab your diploma that you've worked so hard for.
And paid a lot for.
Paid a lot for. This is the culmination.
And as you're walking, they announce your name.
Julie Jerkoff. Forgive me, Kirkhoff.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
This is legit.
Julie
Too legit to quit.
Wait, one more time. One more time. Quiet, everyone, please. It's her moment.
Yeah.
Julie Jerkoff. Forgive me, Kirkhoff.
Oh, my God.
Forgive me.
Julie Jerkoff. Forgive me, Julie Handjob. Forgive me, Julie Handy. Forgive me, Julie Blumpkin. Forgive me, Julie Dirty Sanchez. Oh, my God.
Julie Jerkoff. Forgive me, Kirkhoff.
Oh.
Wow. You know what, though? That's better than just having your name read that most people are missing anyway.
You know she was called Jerk Off throughout all her life.
It had to have been a nickname at some point, or friends.
Julie Jerk Off.
Yeah.
Or Julie Jerkoff. Forgive me, Kirkhoff.
If you think about
Julie oh my God, I can't believe I said that.
Or that professor won a nice bet.
Yeah.
Said she would do it. And
Julie Salad Tosser. Oh, it's not even close.
If you think about it, in high school, she probably had jerk off as a, I wouldn't even say a nickname. You know, they made fun of her.
Maybe even her
you know.
friends would call her that because it's such an obvious. But
And then she gets to college where everybody matures a little bit and she loses the jerk off for a couple of years.
It's
and
clear.
then boom.
Kirkhoff is I mean, you can come into that Kirkhoff.
Dude, she's getting her master's degree. It's a Master of Science degree as she goes up and hears
Julie Jerkoff. Forgive me, Kirkhoff.
Well, and she doesn't. If this is the actual video that we're watching, she doesn't even flinch. The girl, Julie.
You know what? When they're doing it,
you couldn't even
hear.
You're so excited, and you're just your focus is walk forward, shake hand, take diploma, walk off. You know, jerk off.
Jerk off.
Julie
Jerkoff. Forgive me, Kirkhoff.
Well,
You did very well, Miss Jerkoff.
And she sounds so sweet. The
I
woman
know,
reading the
I
names.
know.
Please come up to the microphone, Julie Jerkoff, and tell everyone how you achieved your success.
Forgive me.
It's the jerk-off way, I think, that we can all emulate.
Oh my God.
But there's countless names like that are being butchered in similar ceremonies going on. In fact, this very weekend, I'm sure,
Absolutely.
there'll be mangled names.
Yep, loads of them. You realize anytime we have a caller named Julie,
we
will have to play.
Julie Jerkoff.
It's awesome.
It's the best.
It made my day yesterday when Casey sent that to me.
So, on that one level, is it sort of cool that you have, since she's probably dealt with it her whole life, at least she has a meme now that's attached to her.
Let's see. We have a caller on the line real quick, and I'm going to go to this caller. Hi, caller. Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Julie.
Julie Jerkoff.
Thank you, Julie.
Our first Julie Jerkoff.
You're our first to be given the Julie Jerkoff Award. In Ireland, a radio DJ died in the middle of his morning show, the station said. Yeah. Tim Goff is his name. 55 years old. Was an hour into his broadcast when the music stopped halfway through a song. The music resumed a few minutes later, but the presenter did not return to his show. The broadcaster, Gen X Radio Suffolk, later confirmed that Tim sadly died. He was 55 years old. And the rest of the story was about people offering their condolences, so I don't know what happened.
It wasn't part of their Cash Cadaver promotion, was it?
I don't think it was. Don't think it was, Steve.
Now, one of us is going to die during the day. And we're going to die on air. When we do, call in.
Steve.
You've won Cash Cadaver.
Dude.
That's not funny. Although he probably would get a kick out of this.
No, that's just, it was his time, and it's horrific. Remember, I passed out.
Are you saying he would have enjoyed that bit?
I don't know. Would any of us have enjoyed it?
Probably.
I think so.
Probably.
if I ever die on air while I'm here with you guys and you want to do a cash contest surrounding that,
okay.
Will you be our Cash Cadaver?
Totally.
All right.
We're allowed? Okay.
Yeah.
I want you guys sobbing. I'm gone.
Steve, I love the voice. So Dracula comes
Be the
on.
11th caller and you'll be Cash Cadaver.
Oh, my God.
He didn't sound strong when he cracked the mic today. I just knew it was going to happen.
Oh, that's the actuarial.
Yeah.
That's the actuality from the winner.
By my phone, and when he started coughing, I knew it was time.
This is horrible. This is terrible. That poor guy.
He just sounded weak.
That's what I knew to call.
I knew. I stayed right by the phone.
Dude. Oh, my God. To our own kind.
I know. We're horrible.
Our own kind.
Well, they shouldn't have set up the contest.
Yeah, you're right.
What is this stupid contest?
Be the 14th caller.
You're the 11th caller for Cash Cadaver.
Oh, man.
That poor rest in peace.
Totally,
Oh,
man.
my God.
It's just beyond. It's beyond the pale.
I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about that.
All right, we got a text that it should have been called the Morning Show, MOURN.
No. We're very excited to welcome once again Mr. Chevy Chase.
Yes.
Chevy, thank you for coming on.
Chevy Chase. I've never heard a voice that low in my life.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate
Yes.
the compliment.
Yes, who is this, please?
That's Preston, who has the low voice, and I'm the bald guy, if you can see us. So I'm Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you the guy with the voice?
No, Preston.
I think I'm the guy with the voice.
That was very good. I loved it.
Thank you. Hey, Chevy.
Hi, guys. Nice to see you.
It's
Nice to
wonderful
see
to
you.
have you on. I needed to ask, you 39 years ago, you guys made the film National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And when you think back to that time when you were filming it, did you know that you had something extra special in that film and that people would still be loving it today? Because I've already watched it 3 times in the past couple of weeks.
No,
I didn't like it. But no, of course. Let me just say this. When I make movies, I hope that people will like it, but you don't know, really. In fact, I've been doing recently some appearances, such as the one I'll be doing in Atlantic City at Tropicana, where I'm with an actual audience of, I don't know, a few thousand people or whatever. And until that time, I've never seen my audience. Basically, you make a movie and you never know anything. Once I snuck into a theater with Dustin Hoffman when we did a movie. I just snuck in and stayed in the back to see if they'd laugh.
Right.
But I mean, really, it's the same thing with Dustin or anybody. It's just we don't know.
Well, you know what? It's become a holiday classic, and it deserves that. But I also think, in a way, it might National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation might get short shrift on the emotional level because it resonates on so many of those levels as well. I remember years ago when I was a kid, my dad was sweating at a Christmas bonus check. And so that all of that, and I think it's captured beautifully in the movie in the attic scene where and I well up at that scene. That is a beautiful scene. How did that come together?
Oh, that's funny you should ask that. Well, it's not that funny, but we were in Breckenridge, Colorado on a ski slope shooting the very first scene in the movie where I'm going down the hill, and which you'll notice and see if you watch it. But it suddenly a blizzard hit us, and we were supposed to go back to L.A. and start shooting, and we ended up having to stay there. So the bed and breakfast that we were in had an attic. And we thought, well, let's try out their attic, which we did. That's where we shot it.
Wow.
In their attic. And I was happy to find, a couple of boards I could stand on that would hit me in the back of the head and in the front of the head and, whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's how we did it. And then at the end of that scene, might be interesting for those who watch it, I look out a window outside and see my family either arriving or driving away or something. That was shot in L.A. because if I looked out that window in Breckenridge, I would just see other houses and naked people. I lied.
No, but Steve's right. And I watched this movie the first time I was a teenager, and now I'm a father and I have 3 kids, and so the movie kind of on a few different times hits differently now as a father. And, somebody who prepares to make sure that, Christmas morning is as magical for my kids as it was for me. So, yeah, that one scene in particular is hits different.
Great.
But I always get surprised that when I can laugh at the same joke over and over again. And Chevy, the scene with you and the lady at the lingerie counter, it does not. Every single time I watch it, I'm like, I cannot believe that I'm like legit laughing out loud at the same joke over and over again. And when she says, "Can I take something out for you?" and you just start laughing, I laugh along with you. And
I know. I'm not going to say it on the air here, but
Thank you.
no, I love that part. And then you can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Line down on the P's, clocking in with Planet Zero, 93.3 WMMR, our back to school A to Z. It has been fun today. We had some pinks and I forgot what we started off with.
Pigs.
Oh, pigs. Yeah, we did an 11-minute and 16-second song to kick off our show this morning.
Yes, and pigs at that time in the morning, but people were loving it.
And actually, as the sun was coming up, it gelled nicely.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. We got a lot of comments on that. Thank you to our guests on the program today. Actress Melissa Fitzgerald.
Hey.
Philly native, went to the same school as Marissa Springside, and she is in town to appear at the Free Library of Philadelphia tomorrow. And she's got a book. It is called What's New? A Backstage Pass to the West Wing. It's cast and crew, and its enduring legacy and service. And Mary McCormack, who is also on the show, is going to be joining her as a co-writer of the book. She was really nice.
She was great. And if you are a fan, I don't think you can find anything more comprehensive about your favorite show.
Yeah, she said they'd wanted to start off by writing 300 pages, and they did over 600.
Yes.
So there was a lot of material there. And then we had a great conversation with David Uosikkinen and Adam Weiner this morning. both of the Hooters and Low Cut Connie and In the Pocket, and they both got a couple of things going on. There's a documentary about Low Cut Connie that's coming out tomorrow, or I'm sorry, on the 12th, and it's called Art Dealers. And then we also have the In the Pocket show, which is coming up, I believe, on September 28th in Ardmore. So it was nice to catch up with those.
Yes.
Very cool conversation. Pierre Robert is here. Hey, man.
Good day. Those In the Pocket shows are amazing.
I'll bet.
It's a rotating cast of musicians, as you correctly pointed out, and the songs that they pull out. They'll pull out everything from Hall & Oates to Disco Inferno from the Tramps, all these songs that were made in Philly, more recent stuff like Robert Hazard and that kind of stuff, but going way back to the 50s and even before, with this incredible mix of very talented current musicians. And it'll be, like you said, at Ardmore Music Hall. It's going to be a great show.
Excellent. Speaking of great shows, last night, Pearl Jam.
It's okay.
For those who haven't heard it yet, this is what happened. This is Eddie.
I put those things to use. This one dedicated tonight to Pierre, Nick, and Matt.
So what did it feel like when you heard that live as you were standing there basking in all of that?
It was, it was like when I climbed Mount something or other.
It's not even worth joking about.
We are so, we were devastated to hear that.
Pierre was in.
It's the second mother effing time.
He was in the
happened,
bathroom. Yeah.
When they did it in 2016, I had just stepped out for 1 second to take a pee, and I'm washing my hands, and the guy next to me says, "That was a great shout out." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Eddie just shouted you and Nick and Matt out." And I go, "Yes, of course."
Yes.
That was in 2016. And I said, "I'm going to go get one quick beer." And this woman in the hallway goes, "That's so cool that he shouted you out." I go, What are you talking about? I was only like 6 songs in.
Was it the same? Was it the same? So when did this occur last night in the show? Was it about 6 songs in, or was it later in the show?
6 songs in, exactly. Yeah, right before my tree.
That's So I thought they'd be doing a lot of new stuff. I thought I'd just run up and get a quick beer and come back. I had to take care of a number of people, get them situated in their various seats. I got them taken care of. And then I said, all right, I'll go have a beer, come back. And the lady in the lobby said that, and I go, right.
Yes.
And it was...
Looking at the set list, Nick's pulled this up, and he showed me a set list a little while back, and I was like, dude, I know one song on that list. Looks like last night was hit filled. Yeah, a lot of good songs on there.
I think you would have known Saturdays. I think there was a lot of hits on Saturday. I think you would have known.
No, but there was another time. I forgot. Okay. He was showing this to me. I'm like, dude, I know like 2 songs on this whole thing here.
Yeah.
So, but that looks like that was a great show.
No, it was an amazing show. And when Ed said that Philly crowd on Saturday was the loudest of the tour, that was really quite amazing.
And it seems to be sincere, right?
So he wouldn't say it if it wasn't. And Nick and I had said hello to Stone Gossard, the founding member and guitarist. It was actually more of Stone's band when the band began. And, the evolution of the group, Eddie has sort of become the primary song list, creator and set list creator and all of that. But Stone is a lovely guy, and he has had a side band called Brad, who came by and played here, and we had him on many times before the Eddie thing. And I said to him, so just be honest, we've known each other for a while. The Philly crowd in Madison Square Garden, which had been a couple of nights before, or Saturday night here, and I won't say it publicly, I'm just curious from your personal perspective, without question, Philly, he said, was the loudest, and then went on to rave about it furthermore.
I love that. It's so cool. Yeah.
So, it was very neat.
Excellent. All right. Well, we got another really nice piece of audio from that.
Yes, we do. I'll listen to in my sleep.
We need to give away our Tattoos Day prize, so I want to do that real quick, and then we'll get to letter of the day and all that good stuff. But thanks for texting in this morning. Our winner is Nick Walker Drennan of Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. Yeah. And Nick, you get yourself a $350 gift certificate for Floating World Tattoo and Piercing. You can find them at 1729 South Street in Philadelphia. If you want to check out their artwork samples, visit floatingworldtattoos.com or check them out on Instagram at Floating World Tattoos. Let's do the letter of the day. Here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter. And the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by The Letter.
A is in Arizona.
All right. We have a couple more to go. Today being a Tuesday, we got 3 more to go. We have a 4-pack of tickets, by the way, for the just announced and already sold out Linkin Park concert Monday, September 16th, Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And you can check out the new album From Zero, available on November 15th, featuring the new single called The Emptiness Machine. Anything you want to hit on today's program?
Well, we're back to the letter P. And what was the last song? Did you just play Pipeline, right?
Planet Zero.
Oh, yeah. Planet Zero. Okay, cool. So we'll carry on with the P's. What I love about this year's A to Z is it's, in past years, last couple of years, only gone about 10 days. This is clearly going to go at least 2 weeks.
It seems to be.
Thursday will be 2 weeks. And my goal would be to have it go as long as possible. As long as I'm on, there's a good chance of that happening.
Am I correct in thinking that there's a lot more song? I mean, It seems to there are a lot more songs.
You are correct. There are. Chuck works so hard on it, and it's I mean, early ones I do remember going as long as 3 weeks. In the first couple of years that we did it, but it's always an evolving series of tunes and pieces that get added or subtracted over the years, things that we forgot. We're humans putting together the list.
Sure.
So if some listeners get, oh, you missed something, I say, calm down. It's okay. There are real problems in the world.
Yeah,
right.
The people are dying. There's poverty. There's homelessness. There's all kinds of problems. We missed a song.
You missed a Mott the Hoople song.
It's okay. We're going to get through it. But I also understand the passion behind that because there's some great songs. So, if something's coming along and you think, you wonder if it's going to get, text me, let me know. And I've not been beyond adding a few things here and there.
That's what we've heard, yes.
Several things.
So you should.
Well, that's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm the professor.
That's my pacemaker.
That's what was it? That
my
was your
pacemaker.
Okay.
Oh my God, we got to get him out of here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Steve's got to take his shots. We got to get on this. All right, I want to thank our sponsors. President Steve Show is brought to you today by Dunkin'. The President Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Also, Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors. Tomorrow's a Wednesday. We'll go live on Fox Good Day. We'll have a secret text word. Possibly via Zoom, Jason Ellis will be joining us.
Nice.
We'll see if any other guests come along as well. That's it. We're done. So rage on. Have yourself a great day. Enjoy the A to Z, and we'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.